Alright, just about ready to start now. Just about ready to. Yep, we're good. Welcome back. More Vintage Cube today. Today's our actual scheduled day for Magic, and we'll also be playing Magic today, but more Vintage Cube, because Vintage Cube is great, and as long as it's online for the next 10 days, I'm going to be playing a lot of it. I went ahead and did not finish the last two matches of the deck that I drafted yesterday. I just finished the one game from the end of last stream and figured I'd just start today's stream off by finishing my last two matches with this red aggro deck. We're kind of like, we're mostly just red, but it Jund colors with a bunch of like just really good threats and cheap removal. And in combination, those two things will usually help you win games pretty easily. Let's go ahead and get into queue here for the game. And I'm just going to check on a few things to make sure. Yeah, okay. Looks not too bad. The Magic Online volume is just ridiculous. This is currently at 1 out of 100 on the master volume. And it's just like so loud. Alright. Yeah, this hand looks fine. Keep. Curve out pretty easily. Go 1, 2, 3 if we need to, or even, well, depending on what he does here, we might even do ignoble. Oh, okay. Retro. So he's some sort of artifact-y, value-y deck. Well, that's good. That means that most likely we're untapping with ignoble. Which is always a good sign. Hex Drinker. Okay. Ooh. Okay. That's interesting. Skull Clamp with Retrofitter. Some cool stuff you can do there. Interesting. Protection from instants. So, yeah, if I don't stomp his Hex Drinker now, and he just untaps and levels it 3 times, we're kind of in trouble, because then we're never going to be able to stomp it again. So I think the play here is just going to be stomp attack for 1. And let's get in there with our ignoble. Four mana next turn. So we still can't really Steel Cutter. I guess if he kills the ignoble, we actually could. We could go like Steel Cutter, Unearth, ignoble, and then that'd actually work out great. I kind of, yeah, I kind of hope he kills the ignoble now so we can do that. Otherwise, we don't have a second spell to trigger the Flurry. He's wastelanding us. Okay, interesting. He hits Badlands, sure. Okay, well then we'll probably just play Bone Crusher. See what we draw here. We draw another land. So, yeah, we'll just play the Bone Crusher. Worst case scenario is he like mana leaks it, but I can't really play around that right now anyway. I have like no threats. Just continually generate card advantage. He's going to end step, make a 1/1, and he can clamp it if he wants to on his turn. So if I don't start applying pressure, I'm going to fall behind real quick. Yep, make a circle. This seems like kind of a fine situation. He's behind on mana to me because of my ignoble. Ooh, okay, so he did immediately clamp. I guess digging for a land drop? Because he... Oh, no, he didn't miss a land drop because he wastelanded. So, yeah. Let's see if he plays a land here. Place plains. Interesting. He thought for a while and then played plains and then passed. I assume that's probably some sort of removal spell. I think I still just go for trying to get my flurry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go mountain and just cast the cutter. See what he does. Nothing. Okay, and then I will go ahead and just cast Inti. Always yield, and then yes, to auto equip. And then let's see here. Okay, let Inti land, so he doesn't have a counter. I'll try to move to combat here. Okay, he's letting the combat trigger go off too. Interesting. Okay, I don't know what he has then. Let's discard. I think I need double black more than I need double green, so I'll discard a forest here. Oh, he's just making a 1/1. Oh, that's completely fine. I'm going to discard a forest here and put a counter on Mr. Bone Crusher, give him trample. And I guess I exile the top as well. Not that I can play this turn, but there's Oliphant. Not the worst. So we get to attack for 7 this turn. He can block 2 of it if he wants. Oh, this actually is trample too. I forgot the equipment gives haste and trample, so really he can only block 1 of it, no matter how he blocks. Wow. This card's really good. Corey Steel Cutter. Yeah, and then I'll just pass. Worst case scenario is that he like untap Wrath of Gods, but even then I'm not feeling the worst because I have Unearth to immediately start the train rolling again. I can Unearth, equip Inti with Cold Steel, give her haste, start churning again. So we definitely have the upper hand at this point. Okay, he's just playing another creature in the form of Bristly Bill. Not a bad creature, but certainly not going to save him in this position. I assume he's debating whether or not he wants to skull clamp his servo. He might as well, because all my creatures are going to have trample. The equipment gives trample, and Inti gives trample to something, so... we'll see. See what he does here. Plays a fetch land. Make Bill a 4/4. Oh no, on the servo. Okay. Interesting, sure. And then he's just gonna hold up another servo activation, or what's the plan here? Sage you to destroy my artifact. Sure. Yes, I'll find a Triome here. Play tapped. That does stink that the removal spell he used is on my non-creature permanent, so I cannot use my Unearth, but I can still cycle if I don't find anything else. I find a Galvanic Discharge. That gets rid of at least the Bristly Bill as the blocker. And... he also didn't equip Skullclamp to either of his creatures, which could just be to give him an extra toughness, but could also be holding something up. Okay, I'm going to start with just discharging the Bristly Bill. And we can yield to the Prowess. Go ahead and pay 3 full energy to bolt him. How do I... oh, I have to go to resolve it, get my energy, spend 3 energy. Okay. Well, he let that happen. Guess I'm going to go to combat here. We'll swing with all the boys. Bang, bang, bang. He doesn't have enough to make a servo. He can sack this to make a Thopter, but... so go attack. And then I will discard my Swamp to put a counter on Inti, so that she doesn't trade with the servo. We're going to exile a land, sure. see what happens here. I'm interested to know why he left 1 mana up. No, he's just going to block the Bone Crusher. That's fine. He's dead next turn. I don't think I could kill him this turn no matter how I did it, right? Because he could block 2 and he would take 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So he blocks, makes a Thopter, right? And takes 5. So now he really needs a board wipe. Second main phase, I'll just play this Forest Exiled and pass. I guess he could make a 4/4 at this point just by tapping, right? Ooh, okay. 3 mana Leyline Binding. Sure, resolves. What's he hitting? Incy? Smart, okay. I don't think there's anything I can do about the enchantment. Not really. Yeah, so this is going to happen no matter what. Just let it happen then. See how this goes. I do have a couple 6-drops in my deck. And currently I have no targets for this Unearth. He's playing another blocker, sure. So I am going to cycle Unearth here on his end step just to dig a little closer to one of my possible big things. Cycle for 2 here. We are given an Arena of Glory, sure. Then we'll go to our turn here. Draw a Kolaghan's Command. Interesting, okay. How do we want to do this? So he can make a 4/4. He has basically 2 choices. He can either block with the Thopter and then before damage turn it into a 4/4, or if he wants to try to trade, he can before blockers are declared sack the Thopter and make a 4/4. If I hold up Kolaghan's Command and he tries the latter of the 2 to like make the 4/4 to block and trade, then I can actually just kill him because I'll kill 2 damage here and then destroy artifact. So I'm just going to play Arena of Glory and go to combats. And we'll see how he plays this. Okay, go to attackers. Is he just letting this happen? Okay, no, he's gonna try to block with the 4/4, which is not gonna work out great for him because now before he can even go to block, I can go red, red, black, cast Kolaghan's Command, artifact, shock, cast, artifact, shock. Nice. And remove both his blockers. 7. Good. Bye. So that's game 1 here. Moving on. I don't think I had anything sideboard-wise. I actually had some sideboard stuff. That's right. Cool. Against his like 4-color value pile, is there any changes I would make? I didn't see any counter spells in his deck, but I assume he has at least one. Some natural order, nothing good for that. I think I'm just gonna leave it for now, and then if I see anything that makes me want Raptor or Nissa, I can always change it for game 3. Alright, it's another decent hand here. We got Fury for early interaction, and then Amped Raptor. Can definitely do some stuff if we get lucky. So I'll keep. The dream scenario is that I play something, and then turn 1 I draw whatever it's called, Galvanic, so I have some energy stored up. And he's just passing. Right. I do know he has Wasteland in his deck, so I'm just going to lead with basic Mountain. He'll pass. Cycling Oliphant here on his end step for sure. Bloom. Okay. Sure. I'd probably just chainsaw that then, instead of playing Amp Raptor. Do I have anything that produces green other than my Triome? No. I'm gonna get the Triome. And then we'll go to my turn here. I only got a green land anyway. I think I will still just play the basic. Again, just trying to play around the Wasteland. But I'm just going to chainsaw to destroy the Canker Bloom. And... oh, I should have saved that. And then I'll pass. And then next turn we have two different hasters we can deploy depending on what the situation calls for. Either Lelia or Screaming Nemesis. He's playing Sandstorm. Essentially a better like blade splicer. It's a golem, gets a 1/1. Is this 3 to equip? That's not as busted as I thought it was. Interesting. Okay, so we drew another thing we can play. If we want to play just a 3/3 without haste, and then we can kill both of these with Fury. What does this do? Counter on each token. Okay. Yeah, I think I definitely want to Fury them. And then I think getting down Kavu is better. So I'm going to play tap lands. Get down my Kavu. And Fury pitching. Probably one of my 3-drops. Lelia provides card advantage. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of the Lelia. I think Amp Raptor having the 2-for-1 is immediately. But yeah, so we'll just do 1 and 3. Yep. Say goodbye to your men. And then I'll pass here. Oh, look at that. The Evoke also triggers the Chainsaw. Synergy. And then this will double or 1 or more. Okay, so I get that's still pretty good. That's 3 counters already on my chainsaw. Decent stuff. Gonna yield here. Field of the Dead. Ambitious. Okay. That is pretty cool with his Salvager, because it makes zombies, then he can pump all his zombies and give them trample if he wanted to. So here I'm going to play the Nemesis, I think. That way next turn, if I want to, I can go Amped Raptor plus Equip. Although I could just Equip and then hit for 6. I guess I also hit for 6 if I just play this because it has haste. Yeah, I'll just play the Screaming Nemesis. So we'll go land, tap for 3, Screaming Nemesis, and we'll just attack for 6. And the next turn, like I said, we can go Amp Raptor plus Equip. Just exile his Salvager, I guess, because I do not want to discard right now. I can discard to draw a card, but my hand I need the 5th land so I can play and equip, and I need this to have a 2-drop to play with my 5 mana, so thing. Ooh, we have all forests. Look at that. Ah. Well, that is a good one. This is quite a powerful magic card indeed. Very good, especially because of the Yavimaya he just played. So all of his lands double, and he can start animating them into 3/3s. It just gives extra power. Okay. First strike? No, really, it just gives nothing. Okay. Kolagon's command. Okay. I really would like to Nissa to die. I don't want him to untap with it. But I don't think I have a way to guarantee he doesn't. So, if I equip this, or wait, no, I guess that I can. So if I equip this to the Nemesis, it'll be a 6/3. And if I attack Nemesis into Nissa, he has to block. Otherwise, it'll just kill it with combat damage. And then when he blocks, I get to shoot it for 3 with its ability. And then I also attack with Kavu at Nissa. So yeah, no, I can kill her. If I just equip. So I guess I will go ahead and Amped Raptor equip this turn then. So red for Amped Raptor. Hopefully we hit a 2-drop. That'd be sick. We have a lot of 2-drops, so it's not impossible. We have, how do I, Unearth? Is that what we hit? Is that, again, I literally don't even see. Where does it tell me what I hit? Cast it? Cast what? I guess it is Unearth, huh? Well, that stinks. We don't have a target for Unearth. So, guess not. That's fine. We get 2 energy and we get a 2/1 first striker. And then we'll go ahead and do what I said, which is equip the chainsaw to the Nemesis. And swing both at Nissa. Let's go. Attack Nissa. Attack Nissa. And I'll just exile again. Exile this time his Canker Bloom. Alright. So Nissa's dead no matter what. He can choose to trade his land for my Nemesis if he wants to, though. Okay, so he's blocking. And then I will have Screaming Nemesis hit Nissa in the face. And I guess I get another counter, sure. And I'll pass. Down to 1 card in hand, which doesn't feel great against my opponent's like all value deck, but what can you do? He got a 2-for-1 with the Nissa. And ooh, interesting. I guess not even really a 2-for-1 because he ended up losing a land out of it as well, so okay. Land go, he says. Interesting. Okay. This time I will discard this Blooming Marsh because this is just a tapped land that's not going to help me. Let's go ahead and go tap for 3, and I'll equip to... It doesn't look like he has any like damage-based removal, so let's put it on my first striker. Like so. Is he removing it here? Oh no. Okay. And then we'll go to combat. Let's see what happens here. Attack with both, and then discard a card. Oh, okay. Hit okay, then discard a card. Give in a Kellen the Trailblazer. He just takes it? Okay. Interesting. Now the question is, do I play Kellen or do I think he has a board wipe? I think I'm just going to play the Kellen and pass. The reason I'm not holding Kellen here is because I feel like it's more likely that he just has like, can just produce 2 removal spells than it's likely that he has a board wipe, so. Fast Bond. Okay. Ooh. His Field of the Dead is online, and he's a fast bond. Well, I can't. I have no response. He's got 1 card left in hand, though. So, what's his play here? He can Delirium, copy his Nissa, I guess. Becomes a copy of target permanent card in your graveyard until end of turn. Activate only if there are 4 or more card types. And he currently only has 2, so he can't even do that. So he's just, I don't know, yeah, okay. He concedes. Alright, on to the final match with this deck. Very nice. Yeah, I think the chainsaw, despite me kind of ragging on it there for not giving any extra abilities, it is nice that it's like, it's literally just a 2-mana removal spell, sorcery speed removal, I guess, but it's a 2-mana removal spell that also just like threatens to kill your opponent. Kind of insane. Like, yes, it kind of stings it has an equip cost of 3, but like bigger, I mean, like, it's just like free extra value, right? Otherwise, I'd just be playing a, I don't know, Incinerate or something. But instead, I get to at least deal a bunch of damage to my opponent as well. All right, I'm gonna. Okay. For our last match here, we are on the draw with an okay hand. Not the best. We have the ability to cast all our spells at least. I think I'm gonna keep. It's a little slower than some of the hands with this deck that I've played, but I think it's fine. On the draw, I could consider mulliganing for a faster hand, but not knowing what my opponent is playing, I think it's fine to just take a reasonable hand rather than trying to, you know, hard mulligan down for something fast. Also, Shieldred against certain decks like auto wins, so... Oh god, he's trying to box. Well, that's less than optimal. Moxin, I hear, are pretty good. It's to Hex Drinker, immediately put it to level 1. So on turn 2, he can attack with a 4/4 Hex Drinker. That's no good. Yeah, so this is the risk, right? Is that he has a fast hand, and now I'm stuck with this nonsense. But I guess it doesn't matter since I'm not playing with this. I tapped Arena of Glory and pass. I'm guessing he's just gonna level this up and attack. Like he doesn't need to do anything else. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna lose to a single Hex Drinker. See, normally the balancing part of Hex Drinker is that if you play it on turn 1, you still can't attack for 4 on turn 2, because it takes 3. They specifically made it level 3 before it becomes a 4/4 protection from instance. But Mox Emerald changes the math a little bit. Yeah, I'm just gonna play Inti, I guess. Well, I guess you can give it pro everything next turn anyway, right? It's level 4 and it needs 8, so he just plays a land and levels it 4 times. Yeah, so no point in thinking about blocking here since it's likely we won't be allowed to. I'm just gonna play Inti and pass the turn. And go ahead and yield again. And again, I assume he's just going to keep leveling since that one card alone is pressuring us enough to keep us on the back foot. I don't know why he would play more, but I guess we'll see. Oh, he's not. He's not leveling. Okay. That's fine by me. If he wants to just sit there and not level, try to play more things to the board, I'm A-okay with that. I think I still take the 4 though. 12. So that's 2 hits from a protection from everything. He has got a Karn. Okay, interesting. Is he just Karn structing it? Oh, he upticked. Okay. It's important to read the ability. An opponent chooses one of them, put that card into your hand. Every time like MTGO tells you to choose like cards in hand or cards to give your opponent for like fact or fiction or whatever, you always have to read it because sometimes it's asking you the ones you want to like keep or give, and sometimes it's asking you the ones you want to not. And that's a mistake I've made many times and I'm not a fan of. We're just gonna give him a Spectre's Copter and make him have to downtick if he wants to firebolt my stuff. Get a Badlands. Okay, so what's the play this turn? Can't kill the Karn because he upticked. I don't think I want to Arena of Glory this turn because that'll prevent me from being able to Shieldred next turn. So I think I'm just going to start off by attacking with Inti at Karn. So go straight to combat, and we'll discard a mountain to Inti here and see what we get. Go ahead and discard a mountain. Give Inti a counter. And we are going to get a Broadside Bombardiers as our card we can play this turn from exile. Hit him for 2 or 3 rather. Yep. Now, unfortunately, Broadside, the way Boast works is it's not like raid, right? Yeah, this creature has to have attacked, so you can't just. I can't just play this and immediately use it, even though that'd be sick if I could, because then I could kill Karn or the Hex Drinker more likely. That'd be great, but I still might just play it. Like, what's my other option? Play Luris and then do nothing with it. So I think I'm just going to play the Broadside without the ability to use it this turn, which is fine. Next turn, it's going to be pretty good, assuming we keep it for next turn. Go and yield through his turn and cross our fingers, basically. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of things that he could have in hand that we wouldn't die to, but you know, I guess we'll see. We'll see. You never know. He could have 5 lands in hand, you know? Well, I guess that's not true. He could have 4 lands in hand because at least one of his cards in hand is a Smuggler's Copter. I'm curious what he's going to do with Karn here. Because if he really wants to kill the Broadside, he has to put Karn to 2 loyalty to get the Firebolt. Unless he has something else, obviously. But as far as what I know, he has this Firebolt with a silver counter on it. He'd be at 2 loyalty, and he wouldn't have a Karnstruct to block with, so I guess we'll see. I guess he could also just uptick again to make it like hard for me to try to kill it if I wanted to, which would not be a bad play on his part. Deep in the tank he is. He ends up making constructs and leveling to 8 on his Hex Drinker. Yeah, we'll just take the 6. So we're basically dead now. The only way we can survive is to gain some life. So I'm going to have to haste in my Luris with Arena to gain 3. And then I don't want to do this. I guess this has Menace, so he can't actually block it. So I can kill Karn just by attacking with the Broadside. And then I guess I can technically gain 4 because Inti can pump the Luris. Right? So let's think about this. Play Badlands. I'll activate Arena of Glory's Exert ability. And we'll go these 2 for a hasty Luris. And then we can also haste in this Kellen. And then we go to combats. Go ahead and attack Karn. How do I want to do that? Yeah, I'm going to attack Karn with that, and everyone else just at his face. And Inti's going to be able to discard. I guess I keep the land just in case I need a 5-drop next turn. Or 4-drop, actually, because this isn't untapping. So, yeah, I'll keep these two. I'll discard the Carnosaur. And I'll put the counter onto Luris to gain a little extra life. Oh, there's the 5-drop. That's okay, though. So, this is going into his face. This is killing Karn. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to leave it be for now, and then we'll see what I want to do with the broadside activation. If I want to do anything at all with it. Oh, he just took it all. Okay, interesting. I'm going to kill the Construct with Kellen, I think. Because then I can recast with Luris next turn if need be. So we'll sack Kellen. Oh, wait. No. Not target Kellen. Choose targets. Target the Construct. Sacrifice that Kellen. There we go. Okay, so we deal 3 damage to the Construct token. And pass the turn and hope we live, basically. And pass. That ended up working out pretty well. The fact that Arena of Glory gave haste was huge there, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to gain life, and I would have made it 6, and he could have just like done nothing but attack with just the Hex Drinker. So I feel like it's going to be difficult for him to scrape together 4 extra damage this turn, and if he doesn't kill me this turn, I think I can kill him on the crackback. I guess we'll see, but I find it hard to believe that he would be able to get out of this one based on what I know of his deck thus far. But this is Vintage Cube after all, so anything can happen. My opponent has a strange habit of tanking for like 2 minutes and then taking all of his game actions extremely quickly. Oh. Just as I say that. Shadow Spear, okay. Shadow Spear, Copter. Copter was the only card I knew of in his hand, so he's got 3 unknowns in hand. Oh, interesting. He didn't equip Shadow Spear to the Hex Drinker. I thought that's what he was going for with that. Okay. Interesting. So he can block one thing for free. Not this, because it's Menace. So next turn he's attacking for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Which means I have to gain life with Luris this turn again. Or I'm dead. Is there a way I can kill him this turn? He is at 11. He gets to block Luris and take 4, 5, 6. But he didn't equip Shadow Spear, so he has something in hand. Probably like a Fire Ice or something? I don't know. The problem is because he has protection, if he blocks the Luris, I don't gain any life, because Luris doesn't do damage to him. I think my best bet is to start with Amped Raptor, just see what I get, and go from there. So let's do red and 1 for Amped Raptor. And go ahead and flip into Fury, it looks like. Unfortunately, we do not have 5 energy to play the Fury, so we will not be casting. Not the best. I guess I'm just going to... Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and play the Kellen here. Because Shieldred's not going to do anything for me this game. I'm either going to like die his next turn or win on the following. So I'm just going to go ahead and discard it to Inti, and we'll see what happens. Let's go to combat. It's likely here that he's going to fire. Oh, he didn't. Okay. So we attack with everything. And discard my Shieldred to Inti. Put the counter on, I guess, actually Beaumont. Not Beaumont. Broadside is better. Since he's going to block Laris. That's already 3. So we'll do Broadside with the counter here. And then we just get a land drop. And see what they do. I think I'm just dead now because I don't kill this turn. I can fling, my highest cost thing is Laris, so I can fling 5 damage at his face. I guess technically I can still kill him, right? Assuming he has no tricks or anything. Because he has to block the Laris, so I don't gain life. But then when he blocks Laris, before damage, I can sack Laris to deal 5 to his face, put him to 6, and then he takes 6. But again, that's all assuming he has no tricks himself. Which seems unlikely, given that he didn't equip Shadow Spear. Guess we'll see. We will see. Okay, he goes to block Laris. And then I'm going to activate, choose his face as my target, and sacrifice Laris. And do I have to just hit OK, right? Yep, so he goes to 6. And then I'll try to move to damage here. Oh! Yeah, he had nothing. We take those. Go to game 2. Again, could consider changing some stuff. I honestly thought there was no way I was winning that game after his turn to level up my Hex Drinker to 4. But, you know, sometimes it just works out. Shieldbreaker's pretty good. He has a lot of impactful artifacts, it looks like. I think that's gonna be better than, like... He looks like to be a deck that has a decent amount of creature presence, so I don't think Karizev is as good at getting through damage, especially if he gets fast starts like that. Yeah, let's switch out Karizev for Emrith and ship it like that. Draw again for game 2. Again, a decent hand. I think I keep this. We don't have anything on turn 1, but we have removal, or Inti on turn 2. All of which are great options. He just goes Mountain Pass. I will do the same. Mountain and Pass. And then, assuming he plays a creature this turn, I'll just Chainsaw it. Ooh, he gets another Mox. Okay. For 3 mana, he's getting down Huatli. Okay. Luckily, it's not a 4 toughness creature. If he had, like, I don't know, Sentinel of the Nameless City or something along those lines, I'd be in a lot more trouble. He still replaces it in his hand because it gets him a swamp, but it's not the end of the world because I can kill it immediately. So I'll go Swamp, Chainsaw, and Chainsaw the Huatli. And let's pass once again. 2. Oh, okay. He gets nothing because my removal spell is actually on a creature. That's really good. If this was like a normal like bolt, I'd be in trouble because then I wouldn't be able to kill his tracker. But here I can just stomp it because the rest does not hit. Mr. Bone Crusher. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to play Swamp and immediately just main phase stomp. Try to keep him down on cards. Ship it again. Alright. Let's see what he's got. Crack a clue, sure. And another 3-drop? No, nothing. Okay. That's good. We get a Screaming Nemesis. I think I'm just going to get down my non-hasting threat. Cast my Bone Crusher here. Just pass the turn. Next turn I have a lot of options because I can play Inti plus Screaming Nemesis. I can play Inti plus Luris. I can play Inti plus Equip. A lot of options here. Bowmasters. Okay, interesting. This creature becomes the target of a spell. Shocks. Okay. Land go. Interesting. Okay. Get a removal spell. It's a good one. I think here I'm looking at just like Inti Screaming Nemesis, I think. So we'll go play a mountain, cast my Inti. I guess I should leave up my double black just in case Luris becomes better somehow, depending on yeah, no, I'm just going to play the Screaming Nemesis to start getting in damage here. And yeah, I'll just go straight to combat. Attack with both. And Inti is going to... I think Screaming Nemesis is going to be the better target here. So we exile off the top land, sure. And put a counter on the Nemesis. He says no blocks. So we'll just leave it at that and pass turn. Oh my god, what is it, a 7-drop? Pest Infestation X equals 3 on my chainsaw. Yeah, okay, so he gets 6 pests. Yeah, can't really do anything, so I'll just let it happen. Not great for me, I'll be honest. So, Screaming Nemesis is a damage trigger. Pest tokens are a dies trigger. But damage and dies, they happen right after the damage step of combat. They both happen at the same time, right? But I'm the active player, so I guess... so he would still gain the life. I think, right? So he'll gain the life, and then I'll be able to shoot him and make him not be able to gain life this game. That kind of stinks that the ordering is not really in my favor. Ooh. That... I was about to say I can just Luris Chainsaw, but that might even be better. Kind of close, actually. They're both... Okay, so what's my plan this turn? I think I'm getting rid of this Mind Collapse, since he doesn't look to have any like big creatures, and I don't want to waste it on a 1/1. I think I do Luris Chainsaw, though, because this will just die in combat, and he's currently not close enough to death that I think it'll matter. So yeah, let's just do 1 black for Luris. Immediately play my Chainsaw. Get my... I guess my Bowmasters will die, and then I can immediately get a counter. And now, if anything dies in combat, I'll get another counter on Chainsaw. So let's go to combat. Definitely attack with this. I don't really want to trade this for 3 pests. I'm kind of fine attacking with this guy, though. Same thing with Inti. I don't really want to trade Inti for 2 pest tokens. Although I could... Actually, I could consider just attacking with everyone and then using Mind Collapse to mess up his... like, blocking stuff. I'm going to do that. I'm going to attack with everything. And I'm going to discard the broadside. I'll put a counter on... how do I want to do this? I think I'd rather have the Screaming Nemesis be trample this turn. Exile, Fury, sure. Wait, can I evoke it if I want? I could evoke it if I want. Interesting. Okay, and then we'll let him go to blocks and see what he does. Puts 2 on Inti. He puts 3 on Bone Crusher. Is that it? Depending on if he, I think he's gonna just like not block an extra creature on my Inti, which would be sick. Yeah, okay, so he declared his blocks like that. I think I am gonna just Mind Collapse to keep the Inti around. What are my other options here? Oh, actually, wait, what's the... It's 5 damage. Dang, okay. I was thinking of doing something cute where I like shoot my own Screaming Nemesis, right? Because this is whenever this creature is dealt damage. Yeah, so it doesn't even have to, like I could, if he had 1 more toughness, I would shoot my own Screaming Nemesis, shoot him in the face for 5, and then he'd be able to not gain life, and then he would die. But what can you do? I'll go ahead and Mind Collapse by sacking a mountain. Actually, if I don't Mind Collapse, I could Fury in my second main phase. And plus I have a Luris out, so I can recast. Okay, hang on, wait, that might be better, actually. So I let this combat happen, and then I evoke Fury to clean up the rest of his board. And then next turn I replay Inti? Is that better? It does make my Chainsaw huge, because I'm going to get a counter on Chainsaw here. I'd get 1 for the Fury evoke, and then another 1 for killing his creatures. I think I like that better. Yeah, let's just go ahead and let this happen. So we'll let this happen. Yep, 1 and 1, 1, 1, 2, sure. And a million triggers on the stack. I'm just going to let all those resolve. So he basically stays neutral, right? Because he took 5 and gains 5. This gets a counter. And then my second main phase, I'm going to cast by exiling the Mind Collapse. And I'm going to do 2 damage to each of his remaining creatures. So it evokes, I get a Chainsaw, it kills his guys, I get another counter on Chainsaw, then I pass turn. That worked out pretty well. So the plan does get a little rougher if he ends up killing my Luris here, but we'll see. He does kill Luris here. He has Firebolt. 2 cards left in hand. But I have a Chainsaw with 5 counters on it, so he kind of also has to kill this. Right? Because this is going to do 10 damage to him next turn. Oh, he's not killing it. Okay. We also draw a Shieldred, but I'm just going to... I'm going to do the Chainsaw thing. Please take 10. I'll pass. And he concedes. It's bittersweet because we get the win, we get the 3-0. But this season I've drafted like 8 decks. And the only 2 decks I've trophied with have been like red. I guess this one's not mono red, but like very heavily red based aggro decks. I'm gonna go ahead and snip this deck real quick. How How do I view previous deck? Cool. Yeah. Got there once again. The new cards, specifically Screaming Nemesis, and like I was talking about before with the chainsaw. I kind of have two busted equipments in that deck. I had Quarry Steel Cutter and Chainsaw, but nevertheless. Oh, actually, before I jump into another draft, I'm gonna open the thing real quick, just to see what I got. We are Ashes of the Fallen. Sure. Hey, we got a Nephilim. Fun. All right. Yes. Back to drafting in the vintage cube. Let's try to draft like an actually like unique, fun deck. Not that, like I said, not that like mono red is not fun, but I just want to get like a really cool combo deck to work this season. There's a lot to choose from too. Obviously, there's like the classics that I've drafted a ton of, like Underworld Breach, and even like Manual Storm you can still kind of do with High Tide shenanigans. But they also one deck that I don't think I've drafted, maybe once I've drafted, was the Doppler Foundry deck that is currently on in the cube, and I don't know, I just don't feel like I've ever gotten both the pieces and had a deck that like works with them. So maybe we'll try that. Maybe we'll try to do some artifact like Doppler Foundry stuff if we can. Obviously, it'll depend on what we open, but we just gotta manifest it. Manifest there being good combo cards in our pack one. Got 7 of 8. Let's go. It's time for another amazing vintage cube draft. What do we have on the docket today? Pack one, pick one. We have nothing, no power, first of all, which, you know, it's hard being me, never opening power. We have some decent stuff, though. Immediately, my eyes fall upon some decent multicolored cards in the forms of Satya and Fractured Identity. 4 and 5 mana respectively, though, so definitely more of a specific deck kind of thing. We also have Animate Dead as a very powerful Reanimator card. Only 2 mana, doesn't cost any life like Reanimate does. Also has some cool synergies because it's a permanent. There's some things you can do like Lurising and stuff like that. There's also Stoneforge Mystic. Beyond that, I don't see anything that I would really first pick. I think I'm going to go... I don't really like first picking Animate Dead, but yeah, this pack kind of calls for it. There's really not a lot going on. Okay. There's a lot going on in this pack. We have a dual land already. It's one of our colors as well. Not bad. We have a Lion's Eye Diamond, one of the better combo enablers. We have a very powerful counter spell in the form of Memory Lapse. Excuse me. Nothing that directly goes along. Well, I guess there is Bone Shards that goes along with Reanimator, but I'm not second picking Bone Shards. Yeah, nothing really that goes with the Animate Dead directly. See, I would like to have a deck that plays Lion's Eye Diamond. We'd be basically abandoning our first pick, though, because Lion's Eye Diamond is not really compatible with an Animate Dead deck most of the time. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a Badlands and just stay open for now. Nothing else here that really catches my eye enough to stray from just staying open, seeing what comes to us. Here we have some decent options, actually, for a Reanimator style deck. We obviously have Reanimator Target in the form of Crabomination. There's also Unearth, which is fine. Not really a Reanimator card, more of like a mid-rangey card, or a combo card even. Spellseeker grabs most of the Reanimator spells you need. And Lorien Revealed is a card that I look at as basically a dual land, because my deck is most likely going to be blue and black and possibly a third color. So this is essentially assuming we can find a single land that produces both blue and black and is an island, a dual land. I think I'm taking the Spellseeker, though. This is a replaceable target. This is a dual land, which there's tons of those. Spellseeker is a pretty unique effect in the Reanimator deck. Grave Titan is also just another, literally the same cost as Crabomination, just 4 black for a big beater. Tashana's Tideminder is fine, but more of like a tempo-y card than I feel like I'm looking for. Mastermind, kind of the same thing. This one's a little bit better since it's only 2 mana investment and usually replaces itself. Marsh Flats actually fetches our current land, but yeah, maybe I will just take the Marsh Flats, actually. I was about to say I'm just going to take the Mastermind, but just keep our options open for now. Yeah, this isn't really anything. There's some cool cards here. Like Kappa is very good in artifact decks. Jace is a good finisher for like Doomsday style combos. Mono Green Nissa is very good. Wandering Emperor is great in like white mid-rangey decks. Nothing for what we're doing. Best thing I've got is like a Carnage Interpreter or a Seasoned Pyromancer as a discard outlet, but they're both double red. I guess this one technically is easier to cast for me since black or red, but it's also worse for the deck I'm probably going for. I think this is probably a better card for my deck. Let's go ahead and take the Interpreter. I mean, yeah, not exciting, but here again, not a super exciting pack. Harvester of Misery is probably the card I'm going to take. It's a decent reanimate target. When it enters, other creatures get -2/-2, so it's kind of like a Massacre Worm, but it can discard itself. You can use it early as a 2-mana, I don't know, whatever the removal spell is that gives -2/-2, I can't remember. Disfigure. You can use it as a Disfigure early, and then it's a creature that sits in your graveyard that you can reanimate later as a board wipe, so probably going to be taking that. And yeah, nothing here that I'm really looking for either. If I'm going to be more Reanimator, Talismans are not really what I'm looking for. Most of my stuff is going to be, the impactful cards are going to be between 1 and 3 mana, because the big stuff that's like 4 and more mana is I'm going to be reanimating. I'm not going to be casting it. So there's not really a reason to ramp. So even though this is a Talisman and it's in 2 of my colors, I think I'm not going to take it. I'll probably just take like Daze. This way, if I like tap out for a big reanimate turn, I at least have some amount of protection. Okay. I can splash green through Hedge Maze, but there's not a ton I would even want green for in Reanimator. Miscalc is probably just a more solid option. Burst Lightning is also here, but I don't foresee myself wanting a Burst Lightning, so grab a Miscalc. I could have also taken the Mutt, the artifact, because it is also like it discards and draws or something, but I think this is going to be better for us overall. Alright, so this is our opening pack. We got back some stuff. Both of the cards I mentioned are still here, which isn't surprising. They're, like I said, they're 4 and 5 mana and multicolored, so they're a little harder for people to take. For us, we can take the Fractured. We're going to require a white splash, but we already have a Marsh Flats. I think that's better than Rafine, even though Rafine is a discard outlet in the form of Conniving. I think just having an impactful card like Fractured Identity is better than this random 3-drop that's 3 colors that is hard for us to cast and whatnot. Now I actually kind of wish I do have the Talisman, because I have a 5-drop now that I actually want to cast. I have another interaction piece, or Ivora. I think I'm actually going to take Ivora here. So it seems weird. This is normally like a red aggro-y card. However, it enters and makes a blood token, and blood tokens are discard outlets. And then on top of that, I'm going to be discarding a bunch to, you know, other effects. So it could just get big. So I think it's actually going to be pretty decent in my deck. Here I'm just going to take the Godless Shrine. Actually, now that I have some decently powerful 3-drops, I actually am going to take Unearth. I was going to say Godless Shrine so I can cast Fractured, but it's fine. I might just sideboard this for now. Nothing is too exciting here. I'm going to Torsten to the sideboard. If I find Flash, this card actually gets pretty good. Yeah, not really interested in a double white card. Just do that. Do that. It sucks that this is a map token and not a blood token, because if this was exactly like blue version of whatchamacallit, I can't think of the name of the card. It's like a 1 red for make a blood token and get a 1/1. It makes sense that the blue version is a map, like flavor-wise, but would be way better in this deck if it made a blood instead of a map. Because blood you can discard from hand. Map you just kind of have to hope the top card is some discard outlet. There's the Thopter Foundry, by the way, that I was talking about wanting to play. Unfortunately, I will not be taking it, as there is a Gristlebrand in my pack 2 pick 1, which it's likely to wheel, seeing as like a lot of the it's not that it's it's still a really good way thing to reanimate, but it's been outclassed by several other cards, and so you really need to be specifically in like Entomb, Animate Dead styles decks to even want this card at all. And so it's likely this would literally just wheel, but I'm going to take it anyway. Better safe than sorry. Pack 2, pick 2. Interesting. So right now it looks like we're going to be mostly Grixis. So we could try to take like a Misty as more fixing, or another fixing land in the form of Verge. Excuse me. I would like to get my fixing to be better, but it's still pretty early in the draft. I feel like I'm still safe to take some like just powerful cards here. Not worry about it. Mana Drain also not a card that's like super great in Reanimator, because again, I'm looking to cast like a bunch of like small casting cost cards and then get the big stuff for free. But there can be some scenarios where like I Mana Drain and the next turn I'm somehow able to like hard cast Gristlebrand or something, so just gonna take it. Obviously it's just like the worst case scenario is it's literally just Counterspell, and that's still great, so there's really not a bad use case for this card. Here we have an interesting decision. We have a fixing land that is typed, and it surveils, which is good for our strategy, and is both the colors that we're looking for a fixing land. There's also Inti. And again, it's more of a red aggro card, but it discards, it gives card advantage, and it gives the much needed trample. For some of our big reanimate targets, they don't naturally have evasion. Inti's very good in our deck. It goes well with Ivora especially. So we could have like a red aggro-y plan, and then the backup plan could be Reanimator. I think I'm still going to take the Thundering Falls, but it does hurt to pass up on an Inti here, especially when we already have Ivora. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to take the Thundering Falls. It hurts though. I would if Inti wheels, I'm snapping it up. There's no question, but I feel like I just need some amount of There's the Sword of the Meek, by the way. There's both pieces in this pack if I wanted to try to do it, but I really have no synergies for it. By itself, it's not infinite. You still have to pay 1 mana for every Thopter you want to make, which is still good, mind you. Like, paying 1 mana to just make a Thopter whenever you want is still very good. But without, like, an outlet for it, it's not, like, I don't know. I'm not going to take it. There's another Surveil land, which we do have the ability to fetch currently. Very nice. There's also a lot of cards we would play. I would play Dak Faden. I'd probably play Deluge and Unholy Heat. I might even play Pentad Prism. But actually, you know what? I already picked up a Surveil land just now. I'm going to take the Dak Faden. I think Dak Faden is good enough that I'm just going to snap it up while I have the chance. And then I'll get something back from that pack, even if it's not the Surveil land. Here, not much. The draw spells are pretty mid. Milling 2 random cards off the top this is like more of a like Doomsday combo than like, oh, I'll, you know, mill my Reanimator thing. It's not really what it's for. Cabal Ritual also not that great because again, we're not trying to hard cast if we can avoid it. So I'm just gonna take Ye Old Kolagon's Command. Stop. What is okay? This pack is pretty good. It's got the High Tide. I miss you, High Tide. One day I'll draft another High Tide deck. Again, we're seeing all the really busted mono red cards. We see like Avora, we saw Inti, now Screaming Nemesis. We could have drafted another busted mono red deck this draft, I bet, but I want to mix it up. I want to have a different deck. I don't think that what is it? It's just a shock. Yeah, no, we're not gonna take that. For us, it's going to be between this Blood Tithe Harvester, basically another version of Avora, 2-mana creature that comes down and makes a blood token, or Fatal Push. I think since we already have Avora, which is, I feel like is a better version of this, I'm going to take the push. Here we have the Metamorphosis Fanatic, which is a decent reanimator target. You reanimate this, and then it itself reanimates something else, kind of like a Karmic Dread, but it also gives the thing it reanimates lifelink, which is kind of cool. And then there's also Abhorrent Oculus if we end up filling our graveyard, which currently doesn't look like we're actually going to do very quickly, so I'm just going to take the Fanatic here. Alright, last new pack of pack 2. We have the option for more white fixing if we end up really wanting to play Fractured, which I don't think we're going to need to, honestly. We have Reign of Filth if we want to try to hardcast our big reanimator things. Red, blue, whites. That's also another white fixing land. That's probably the one I would take actually over the Verge, since this is also blue-red and is fetchable. What does this do? Draw 2, discard. Okay, I'll just take this. I don't think I'm going to need the white mana. I probably won't end up playing this card, but again, it's another red card that discards cards from our hand and digs us deeper into our deck. And then the second ability of like being able to cast stuff from our graveyard is kind of like a bonus, not super necessary. The Thopter Foundry Wield, by the way, we could have had a sick artifact deck too, but our pack 1 didn't really lead us in that direction, so just take a Wish Claw here. Yeah, I'll probably play the Wish Claw too to set up my reanimator turns. Fallen Shinobi is decent. I like this card a lot. I like it more though in like less of the reanimator style deck and more of like a blue-black mid-range style deck. Although we do have a decent amount of like creature, actually not even that many. It's basically a Vora Spellseeker. Yeah, I was gonna take them fixing. This card is really sweet though. I really wish I had the means to play it. Inti did come back, snapping that up as I said. Deluge also came back. That's very playable for us. None of these are decent. I guess this is technically like a third-rate reanimate target. And Blood Tithe Harvester came back. That's crazy. And when this creature enters, tap target creature. Hang on. Tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Tap 2. Tap and 1 in a blue. Shuffle this creature and target creature with a stun counter on it into their libraries. And it has Flash and Vigilance. Enters, tap creature, put a stun counter on it. So I guess you like the general use case is like on your opponent's turn, before they can attack you, you flash this in, tap their creature down. Then they don't get to attack that combat, and then on your turn, you get to attack for 2 because it has vigilance, and then pay 2 and get rid of the thing that you tapped down. I mean, that's decent. I don't think in our deck it's gonna be all that useful, honestly. Thank you for the follow, Maggie Duke. Appreciate you for joining us and following. Here, I don't think we're interested in most of this stuff, honestly. There's like a tiny chance we could end up doing some stuff with any of these. Lutri is the most generically useful one of anything here. Ponder, I guess, also, but I'm just going to take the Lutri Companion and be happy with that. Also, if we end up finding like a I don't know, some sort of instant sorcery version of a Reanimates, we can double it up with Lutri, which can be kind of cool, you know. There's some stuff you can do with that. How are you doing today? I'm doing quite well. How are you? Again, we could have had an insane mono red deck, but here we are. I think I'd like to eventually find a fetch land that actually gets our Thundering Falls, but that's not this pack. I also wouldn't mind having another big Reanimator target, seeing as what we currently have is basically just Griselbrand, and I guess technically Harvester. For us, there's Emperor of Bones. Fear of Missing Out is fine as well. Chain Lightning is like early interaction that's decent. Keeps us in the game so that we can get to our big Reanimator targets. Preacher is fine. I'm guessing, I don't know, this is also technically a Reanimate. I guess I'll just take the Emperor since we're a little lacking on like actual Reanimates right now. We have Animate Dead and Unearth. And Unearth isn't even really, it only gets like the small stuff. Interesting. Here, I don't see anything that would be like really crucial for the deck. There's like Smuggler's Copter, technically loots, and we have a decent amount. We have enough small creatures that I would play it. Chainsaw is a removal spell. Steam Vents fixes our mana more. Fimage can be kind of cool depending on like what we get as our other Reanimator targets. At this point, it's looking like we might actually have to play the Battle Sphere. Yeah, we'll just take the Copter for now, and not exciting, but I could actually also consider a Steam Vents, but when we already have Thundering Falls, I don't think it's as necessary. All right, so here we do have an Undercity Sewers, which is nice because currently our Marsh Flats does not fetch blue mana. This would be allowing it to do that. And the only thing we're really missing out on is like, I don't even know, like a Hymn to Turok, I guess. We're going to take Fixing. There's Baleful Strix is like a generically fine card. There is another counterspell, although we already have three 2-mana counterspells technically. So I don't think a fourth one is really what we're looking for. And Karn isn't really what we're looking for either. So yeah, I'm just going to take the Baleful Strix. Am I playing in PC or console? This is PC. This is Magic the Gathering Online. Specifically, the Vintage Cube. The best way to play Magic the Gathering, as Richard Garfield intended. Infernal Grasp is fine. We have a ton of 2-drops at this point, though. We need, like, I'm guessing Spell Pierce is what I'm picking up here, since it's cheap interaction that doesn't fall on, like, as my 12th 2-drop on the curve. Also, this is a big thing, but we can't reanimate it because of its shuffle in clause, unfortunately. Yeah, we're just gonna take the Spell Pierce. All right, second to last pack of the draft. We're given yet another 2-drop as an option here. There's also Urborg, fixes our mana a bit. This is blue, black, white, which is like kind of useful. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take the Urborg. I don't know. We have a decent amount of requirements for black pips, and I don't think Caustic Bronco is going to make or break the deck. What's my PC specs? I genuinely could not tell you. Not even kidding. This pack's pretty bad. This is a red-black land, technically, but we already have or at least one fetchable red-black land, so we don't need a tapped version. Yikes. Yeah, we really didn't find anything good to reanimate, nor any reanimates. I'm guessing someone was cutting us on it. Maybe we should have just moved directly into whatchamacallit, artifacts. Because look at that. Tellurian Academy, Candelabra of Tawnos. We saw both sides of the Thopter Foundry combo earlier. Like, I guess we should have just become an artifact deck after pack 1. Just dumped all of our pack 1 picks and gone straight into that. But here we are. Well, we can't take any of that now. We can probably take Dark Confidant since we only have a few big things and there's nothing else in this pack that would really be interesting. So we'll go ahead and do that. Preacher of the Schism's decent. This card's okay. Currently, we only have like 2 reanimates. We have Animate Dead, Unearth, and wait, what was our other one? Oh yeah, Emperor of Bones. So we're gonna be more of a mid-rangey deck with Gristle Band as kind of like a backup plan anyway. So probably, actually, they're both pretty good. I think I'm gonna take Preacher though. Preacher of the Schism ends up making like being a super value-y card. Let's grab, I don't know, Chainsaw's fine. I don't think I'm going to play it. I think we have enough playables already. Wow, Reservoir Wheel 2. We really would have been set if we were an artifact deck. That is unfortunate. I'll take Concealing Curtains, though. Sideboard R. Random other stuff. Sure. Yeah, we definitely should be an artifact build here, but what can you do? So, yeah, we're more of like a mid-rangey deck that ends up getting Gristlebrand into play if the game goes late enough than we are an actual Reanimator deck. Which, you know, it's kind of fine. Are we waiting on anyone? Who's drafting still? I guess people are just finishing up their last picks here. Why don't I add character panels? I'm not interested, but thank you. Alrighty, we have 6 lands here. I don't think we had any like cycling or ways to fetch lands or anything. No, we don't. So we basically have 6 lands, 9 slots for basics. That puts us at 15 lands total, so we need to cut 1 to 2 cards. We're pretty even pip-wise, like between blue, red, and black. Red a little bit less so, but we have like a double blue card here, double black and red card on 3. So we're definitely going to have, and also we have a blue-black and a red-black on 2. Yeah, we definitely have some pip requirements here. I wish we'd picked up more fixing, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to keep all the cheap interaction for sure. So Spell Pierce stays, Miscalc, Mandarin, it's all staying. Concealing Curtains can probably stay, Push, Unearth, yeah, that's all good. Dark Confidants. I mean, everything is 3 and less except for these 3 cards, so I think Bob's actually going to be quite good in this deck overall. Same with Emperor. Wishclaw actually probably is not good. Wish Call is way better in a deck where like you set up your Entomb Reanimate and instantly like win the game or like draw a million cards or whatever. In a deck where I'm literally just gonna like play Wish Claw and pass most of the time, or like Wish Claw, activate, animate dead, Aggressive Brand that does nothing the turn he comes into play, like this card's actually pretty bad. Letting your opponent tutor for 1 mana is like a pretty significant downside. So let's cut that, and then that puts us at 16 lands. So we could run it like that. We could run 16 lands. We could also cut 1 more card if need be. I think I could just run 16 lands. Like, I don't know. We're really cheap on the curve. Most of our cards cycle in some way, either by drawing or we're making a blood token, or we have a lot of ways to dig. This even has cycling for whatever reason. Like, there's a lot of ways to dig. I might just run it like this because I kind of like all the cards that are in our deck at this point. Deluge I could also consider just sideboarding and bringing in when the matchup requires it, because I'm not going to be like a control deck into put something big into play. I'm actually going to be like a mid-range creature deck. Having a border wipe main deck is a downside as well. Sorin is interesting. This mana drain feels pretty ambitious. Yeah, I really wish I got more fixing. We also never found a way to fetch up our Thundering Falls, because our only fetch land is Marsh Flats, which only gets we can still get blue with it in the form of Undercity Sewers, but yeah, our mana requirements are looking a little sus. Double blue here, blue black, black red, double pipped here, kind of. It's not really double pipped, but yeah, there's a there's definitely a chance we will be unable to cast stuff during the games. But like I said, we have a lot of cycling stuff. You know, cycling here, bunch of blood tokens, Baleful Strix draws, this loots. Like, if we can get down basically any of our 2-drop engines, we're going to be able to dig until we can find what we need, I feel like. That puts us at, what, 11 basics? We're at 17 lands? Yeah, I think we're going to run it like this. We're going to have... How many blue sources do we even end up with? We have like 1, 2, 3 currently. Yikes. We have 6 total blue sources with these 3 basic islands. Yeah, no kidding on the mana drain being ambitious. We could cut mana drain. We do have the new card that I was reading about, the Flood Pit's Drowner, basically a removal spell on a creature. Also, the mana drain mana isn't that useful. Most of our cards are going to be 3 and under mana cost and mostly colored pips. So the most use we're going to get out of the actual colorless we're making out of it is like if we happen to, you know, have one of these big things in our hand and we get a slight discount. Flood Pits or Tersa? Was it the red discard? Discard 2, then draw that many. That's true. I did think about putting this one in. That's not bad. That's not bad. There's also another like way to pump Avora. It gets us deeper into our deck. It can discard our big things if we want to reanimate them. Yeah, this card's just kind of like generically fine. I actually do. I think you're right. I'm going to try out Teresa. I've been wanting to try out new cards anyway, so it works. Do that. Good call. We're going to go ahead and run it like this. This makes our 6 blue sources seem a little bit more feasible. Plus, some of our blue cards we don't need like actual tons of blue pips for, right? This is like can cycle, you know, this isn't until turn 3. So we get 6 blue pips, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 black sources. Yeah, that sounds about right. I guess I could even cut a black source, honestly. Although, how many red sources do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 as well. We have 6 blue, 6 red. That sounds about right. We only have a few early red cards, same as blue, and then our later red cards are like 1 pip here, 1 pip here, 1-ish pips on Carnage Interpreter. Alright, let's run it like that. Save, and let's get into our matches. This doesn't let me cast it for free, does it? I can just cast it this turn. When it attacks, if there are 7 or more cards in your graveyard, exile a card at random from your graveyard. You may play that card this turn. Yeah, so I still have to pay mana for it, but it does say just play. So I can also get lands out of it if I have lands in the graveyard. kind of cool. Oh, and it has haste too, so I can like, if my graveyard's already decently, if it has like 5 cards in it, I guess, I can discard 2 more, put it up to 7, draw 2, attack, immediately gets value. Plus it's a 3/3 haster for 3. Yeah, this is gonna work out just nicely. We're in the draw for game 1 here. And our trusty companion, Mr. Lutri, is by our side. I'm going to leave this tab open, otherwise I'll forget I can put it into my hand. Opening hand is looking a little rough. We have all our colors, but we have... Can we go into Emperor of Bones? This can grab my opponent's stuff though, right? Exile a card from a graveyard. Okay, interesting. So I guess I could like... That's kind of banking on them playing something like a creature on turn 1 or turn 2. But if they do, it's actually worked out kind of nicely. I go like Fatal Push your 2-drop. I like play Land Pass. They go 2-drop. I go Fatal Push your 2-drop. I untap, play Emperor of Bones, exile their 2-drop. And then immediately the next turn can attack them for 4 and make a copy of their... Or not even a copy, just put it into play, right? You know what? I'm going to keep. Seems weird, but we'll see. Playing it occasionally in Boros in Modern. Okay. Interesting. I could see that. I mean, 3 mana 3/3 is already a decent rate, plus, like, digging you deeper. It's kind of like the discard 2, draw 2, or I guess discard up to 2, draw that many, is kind of like, it reminds me of Seasoned Pyromancer a little bit. Obviously, with different upsides. Seasoned Pyromancer's upside is that if you're empty-handed, you just draw 2 cards, but... Well, they started with Aether Spellbomb, so unfortunately it looks like we're not going to be getting our perfect opener to happen. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to play Markets here and pass. Still leaving up the possibility of fetching Swamp and Fatal Pushing, but if not, I'll just get my Surveil land, and that'll be good. My mouse cord keeps getting tangled. Yep, they just went Island to go. So let's go ahead and end step, crack for Undercity Sewers. And we are surveilling a Badlands into the graveyard. Alright, so they left out Aether Spellbomb. Dak Faden's a good draw. That gets us a discard outlet for the Gristlebrand. I guess I can bounce our Emperor. That's fine, I'm still going to play it. I'm just going to go Mountain... Emperor of Bones. If they counter, whatever, that's fine. Ooh, okay. Exactly Mana Drain is actually pretty bad, because now they get to untap and play a 5-drop. Well, well, well. Right, we pass here, and yield through their turn. Yeah, the Mana Drain, the counterspell being exactly Mana Drain is pretty rough. They're fate sealing us too. Oh god, we are in a bad spot. What do? Decline. They see our top card and they're just like, yeah, you do that. We draw an island, of course. Oh Jace, oh Jace, oh Jace. Well, they can bounce any creature, but they cannot bounce my good friend Dak Faden, the greatest thief in the multiverse. Oh no, do they have Spell Pierce too? I can blow up their spell bomb, or not blow it up, but like force them to use it, but I'm just gonna start looting. Let's see here. Draw 2, discard 2. Oh, interesting. The Fanatic. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm gonna discard the Gristlebrand. Is there any way for me to get this back on top? I don't think so. I should have maybe taken that. I think I saw Brain Surge in a pack. I kind of forgot that this had like the miracle thing going on. Maybe I should have taken Brain Surge and tried to do that. But yeah, I'm going to discard Gristlebrand and like a Swamp or something. And we'll go ahead and ship the turn. Can't pass. So next turn, the plan is unearth the Emperor of Bones. And then exile our own Gristlebrand, and it adapts for like, it's only 2 mana to adapt, so I can literally do it all next turn. I can get a Gristlebrand into play, assuming, actually, I don't think it does work, right? Because it has to have the counters put on it. They're brainstorming, sure. Right? Whenever one or more counters are put on this creature, yeah, that's unfortunate. So yeah, so if I end up unearthing and putting Gristlebrand under the Emperor of Bones and try to adapt, they can bounce it in response. So we have to wait for... I guess I could force him to sack it on my turn. So yeah, we can do that. We'll down tick Dak, target this, they sack it just to make sure that they get their value out of it, and then we get the play. So let's see here. Brainstormed into Shell Docked, into Ponder. All the top deck manipulation. You can adapt and adapt it again in response. That's true. I guess adapting is an instant speed ability. That's also true. Also, they just tapped out of using their Aether Spell Bomb, so there's that. I guess that's also a possibility. So they just don't leave the mana up. I was concocting this whole plan where I like, blow up his Aether Spell Bomb by down ticking my Dak or nah, who needs any of that? Or they tap out in mono blue. Yep. That does work. Yeah. So. In fact, I can use Dak now to steal the Lightning Greaves. That's even better. Let's do that. Don't mind if I do, good sir. So now I get to draw 7. He gets to wait, hang on. How does this forget how all my cards work. Okay, yeah. This is gonna work out great. Now I can Lightning Greaves up the Gristlebrand after beginning of combat, exile under it, pay 2. Yeah. Okay. Now I can Lightning Greaves the Gristlebrand. This is going to be perfect. So let's go black for Unearth, targeting Emperor of Bones. I guess I should say this works out perfect unless he has exactly like a Force of Will or something. So I'm going to leave up my... I guess I can't leave up Miscalculation. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to combat, I guess. Or I guess I might as well swing it as well, right? Because this gives haste. Yeah, so equip to my Emperor of Bones. If he tries to like remove it with... I don't even know what. I could miscalc. He does not. We'll go ahead and attack his Jace, and then I get my Gristlebrand, and he concedes! Let's go! Let's go! I don't know what happened there. He like had every right to make that game so hard for me, but then he played a Lightning Greaves, tapped out, and then just... You know what? I'm not going to argue. I'll take it. We take this. All right. Against a like blue control deck. I don't think I want to change anything. This only works against creatures, right? Yeah. So I'm just gonna run it back. That's funny that he had like, oh, it exiles end of turn. Oh, I didn't even realize that. See, this is, I didn't even read Emperor of Bones. I just assumed it stayed in play. That makes more sense. I feel like Emperor of Bones might be a little too busted if it didn't, huh? Still would have been good though. I would have played it. I would have Lightning Grieves it up so he couldn't bounce it, and then I would have gotten my Gristlebrand in whenever I wanted, drawn 7, basically at instant speed. Yup. Alright, so we don't have... Well, we do have blue. We have blue or red with Marsh Flats, because we can't get our Thundering Falls. We can get Badlands, or we can get Underground, Undercity, whatever the blue-black one is. So we can't actually cast Dak with this current setup, but I think I'm still going to keep... Because I can go Smuggler's Copter into Preacher Cruise Copter. Yeah, this is probably fine. My opponent's deck doesn't seem to be very like fast anyway, so I'm not like too worried about having a super fast hand. Just opening with a Ponder, sure. Oh, that's funny. Sometimes it just works out. They declined to shuffle. Okay. So they liked what they had on top. I immediately get my second color, though. That's nice. I can fetch for blue-black Surveil Land end of turn. Very nice, very nice. Let's see what we're working with here. It looks like he's like just fully mono blue too. That's kind of cool. He has Mana Crypt. Wow, okay. Is this Jace again? Oh, okay, Relic of Sauron. That's pretty good as well. You can make double blue with that too. Alright, let's crack for our Undercity Sewers. Grab our Surveil, and no need for this island. And go to our turn. We get a Daze. That's probably not going to be super useful against an opponent with this much mana already, but keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for the... then again, I thought that last game, and then he immediately tapped out as I was like trying to figure out how to make it work. Look at all those juicy DAC targets. Yes, this is true. Next turn, the Relic of Sauron will be coming over to me. It's even better too because that means it'll generate me more mana. It also is a discard outlet. You can draw 2, discard with it. So like, big. 3 artifact mana plus 4. Is this like playing Battle Ball? Coveted Jewel. Okay. Speaking of DAC targets, I could also just attack with Smuggler's Copter too, assuming he doesn't have a blocker immediately, right? Because it's like, yeah, unblocked. Yeah, I get it. So we'll see how this works out for him. I feel like this is not going to work out great for him, though. We will see. Still has 3, 4, 5, 6 mana to work with as well, and he just drew 3 cards, so the likelihood of him having something is pretty high. Oh, he liked his Mana Fizzle. Okay, so he doesn't have anything more to do this turn. Okay. That does beg the question then, what to do with my turn? I'm guessing whatever interaction he has doesn't cost a full 5 mana. I mean, I guess it could. It could be like Mystic Confluence or something. So likely my Daze is not going to quite do the job to stop what he's got. So my options are either play a creature to crew Smuggler's Copter to try to steal the Coveted Jewel, or play Dak Vaden to try to steal the Relic of Sauron and probably get it countered. How does this work again? When it attacks, player with the most life make a 1/1. Whenever this creature attacks, while I have the most life, I draw and lose 1. Okay. It's not bad. I think I'm going to lead with Preacher of the Schism and see what he does. I'm guessing this is not going to resolve. Oh, please. Please stop. Please stop one more. Please be Mystic Confluence. I'm begging. Begging. Oh, it's not. It looks like it's some sort of 4-mana spell. That would have been so sweet if I could daze his counterspell here. It's Cryptic Command. 1 mana away from getting the ultimate blowout here. So what is he doing? Counter Bounce. Yep, that'll happen. And pass the turn here. Go ahead and yield through here. The nice thing is we still do have a haster that he doesn't know about in the form of Tursa Light Shatter. So assuming that I can sneak this through, I can still get the Coveted Jewel next turn. Let's see what he's up to. He's doing Jace again. Okay, cool. Immediately going for the Brainstorm. I assume I have to attack him for this, right? Yeah, so I can't attack Jace to get the Coveted Jewel. That's fine. Oh, he's using his Workshop again. Oh no, what is this? Just Lightning Greaves, okay. I guess I probably shouldn't auto-yield just in case he taps out. I'm just under the assumption he's never going to actually tap out on his turn, but he literally did that last time, so I guess I shouldn't make assumptions like that. He's casting Tinker on his Mana Crypt. Well, I can't really stop that, so go for it. What's his big Tinker target? Is a Blightsteel Colossus. Oh dear. Happens to the best of us. Well, he did do a turn 4 Lightning Greaves attack for 11 infect, so not a lot to do about that one. So we are going to game 3 of this match. I still don't think I... The mana drain is getting more tempting now because of how impactful his big spells are. He's casting a lot of like giant, like 6 mana spells, and anytime they resolve, it's pretty bad for me. It's still pretty hard on the mana. I'd have to add in another island or two to make it work. And I mean, there is stuff in my deck that I would not really want again. It looks like he's very low creature density. So a lot of my stuff like Fatal Push, even Harvester of Misery, is not as good as it normally would be. Excuse me. Yeah, I think we're gonna run it back, especially because for game 3 we actually are on the play, so it makes it a little bit easier to set up before he has a lot of counter magic ready. I'll play first here. Lutri, as always, my faithful companion. And this hand, we have both our Blood Makers and a Dark Confidants, as well as a Kolaghan's Command, which does destroy an artifact. It is a Shatter Plus. So Shatter Plus is pretty good against his deck, so we'll keep this. He is still deciding, it looks like. It's a little interesting of what to play first, though. Normally, I would just slam Dark Confidant first. However, Ivora does get big pretty quickly if I start trying to like sack blood tokens or you know, whatever else. If I end up playing like Ivora and like Dak on turn 3 or something, be kind of cooking. Because this isn't discard 1 or more cards. This is for every card discarded. It gets a counter, right? Yeah, so like if I... That's actually kind of crazy. I feel like you play this into Wheel of Fortune, you're attacking for 8. That's kind of crazy. Opponent did start with 7 in hand. Okay, so they kept their full 7. Unearth is our top card. I think that's going to be something I would like to draw. We'll pass. I think I'm still going to play Bob on turn 1. He leads with extra spell bomb. I think Bob is still going to be the play, though. It's a little interesting. If I think his plan is just to like bounce my creature, then I could play Ivora, because then at least I get left with a blood token. But I feel like I just need to draw action ASAP. Yeah, I'm going to play Bob. Lead with Bob here, and then we'll pass back to our opponents. Oh, he's thinking, what? Ah, okay. So he has days of his own. That's not the worst. We have Unearth in hand after all, so... Go ahead and... Oh, I have to not do it twice. That's weird. And we'll go ahead and ship the turn here. Honestly, I'm kind of fine with that. Him being down a mana means that we're going to have an easier time slipping through stuff later in the game. Yeah, I think I'm just going to Unearth Bob again. Do cast targeting Dark Confidants. And then we're going to... The question now is, do I leave up interaction? Oh, interesting. He force a negation pitching Phyrexian Metamorph, targeting my Unearth. So what the question is now, would I rather keep my miscalculation and just play a different 2-drop this turn, or try to get the Bob to resolve? The problem is if I miscalc this, he'll still be able to crack Aether Spellbomb at the end of my turn, so I still don't get the trigger for my next upkeep anyway. I almost want to just let his Force Negation resolve here and play a different 2-drop. Although making him use the Aether Spellbomb is fine. I think I'm just gonna try to counter his Force Negation here. Force the action out of him, and then also if he sacks this to bounce my creature, it's like he's also not using it to draw a card, so I'm kind of fine with this. My opponent is deep in the tank about this one. Okay, so he let the miscalc resolve. Back to unearth. Let unearth resolve. And I'm assuming he's bouncing at end step. I guess we'll see here. Yes, okay. That's fine, I think. Go ahead and deal through his turn here. He plays a talisman. Interesting. It's so crazy that Dark Confidant is back in Standard. Is it? Was it in a new set or something? I didn't even know that. And that it probably won't be good. That is actually, that part is definitely true. If it's true that this isn't Standard, it most likely will not be. It's getting printed in Final Fantasy. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, that is almost certainly true. This will almost certainly not be good enough for for current Standard. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. It's still good in Cube, I feel like. It just, you know, when you're looking for basically one-sided Howling Mine, there's not really that many good options other than this. They don't have other restrictions. This one's kind of just generic. There are other versions of one-sided Howling Mine for 2 mana, but like you have to do other stuff usually. Love it in Cube. Yeah, me too. Big fan. It's weird too because I normally don't like it in Reanimator decks because I have a bunch of big cost stuff, but this deck I literally have like two cards that are more than 3 mana or something. Hey, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I want to kind of just like destroy his talisman almost, but that might be a little ambitious. The other option is just to play Confidant again and wait a turn and wait for him to play a bigger artifact. He has a lot of like 4 mana artifacts. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and go 1 in a black, play Dark Confidants, and just pass. Have they missed a land drop? No. They bounced 1 to the days, but I don't think past that they've missed one. Yeah, because it's their turn 4, so they're right. Yeah, if they play another land, they'll have 3 in play on their turn 4, -1 from the days. I just missed the land drop actually, because I went first. But I'm hoping that he just plays like Relic of Sauron. I hope like it would be perfect if he just goes like land Relic of Sauron. That'd be incredible, because then I can destroy artifact and like make him discard a card or something, and he'll be down to like 2 cards in hand with 3, I guess 4 mana in play. That would be just peachy. I don't think I've seen any other colors of cards from him though. I'm pretty sure the Relic in this Talisman is like only for making blue mana. It's kind of funny. Deep in the tank about something. I'd like to try to hit my next land drop if possible, which would be really powerful. It would let me play like double 2-drop if I wanted. It would let me go like, you know, crack a blood token or something and have mana up still, but if he doesn't play a big artifact for me to kill with Kolaghan's command, it's likely that he's bouncing my Dark Confidant again. So I guess we'll see. He already used 2 free counter spells as well in the form of Force and Daze. So whatever he plays this turn, it's likely he doesn't have backup for. Assuming it's a 4-drop, I should say. This is game 3, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Because he killed me with Blightsteel last game. I got game 1. I'd like to get Lutri going, but it doesn't seem like a matchup where it's going to be super super feasible. I guess I'll leave my opponent to think for a moment. They're really in the tank about this. I'm guessing they just like have 2 4-drops in hand or something, and they're just trying to figure out which one to do. That or they went to the restroom, you know, who can say? They're at 13:30 on their timer. I think it has literally been like 3 minutes since it was their turn. Well, I suppose we can just think about all the things that we're going to do on our turn. If we draw a land, I guess it does depend on what he plays. If he, like I said, if he plays a big artifact, I think I'm just snap Kolaghan's commanding it. But if not, I'm assuming that if Bob lives, I'm going to hit a land. I get to look at 2 cards, plus if I play Baleful Strix, I get to look at another card. Although I guess if I don't hit a land in the top 2, like off the Bob trigger and my draw step, I would probably not play Baleful Strix. I would probably play like Evora and then like leave up the Blood Token activation. Or I guess I could main phase Blood Token activation to try to hit the land drop that turn. Something like that. They're almost down to 11 minutes on their clock. It's been like 5 minutes since it became their turn. At this point, I am just assuming that they had to step away from their computer for a moment, which is fine. We can just chill. I personally am playtesting a new commander deck that I have built. Rebinding cards. Yeah, that's fair. There's a never-ending supply of things to do with magic cards. What's the commander? It's a partner commander, or not partner, I guess. It's technically a Time Lord Doctor and Doctor's Companion in the form of the 10th Doctor and Graham O'Brien. I don't know if you guys can even see that. The glare is probably horrible. But yeah, I noticed that I did not have a single Doctor Who deck, and I was like, but I like Doctor Who. I'm not representing them well, so I decided to put this together. Oh, they disconnected. Oh, has lost the game due to inaction? I guess they were really gone for 5 minutes. Dang, okay, well that stinks. This is actually ramping up to be an interesting game. Not that I'll complain about a free win, but that does stink. Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Into the queue once more. Hopefully we get a full 3 games next round. All right. Based on how those games went, though, it felt like just with the decent like low end of 2 and 3 drops that are impactful, plus like the out of nowhere high end of Gristlebrand. Got some good stuff going on. And we get to be on the play for round 2. Once again, Lutri, our faithful companion. Opening hand is, we have the Animate Dead. We also have a thing to animate if we so choose. We can discard this to itself and then immediately animate Dead. If they're a creature deck, it's actually quite good to do that. We don't have any red mana, I'm noticing, in this hand for our Blood Tithe, but I think this is keepable nonetheless. Any land will let us play Spellseeker, and specifically a red land will let us play Blood Tithe, which I think is going to be a recipe for a keepable hand here. This hand gets even better too if this is a creature-based deck for my opponent, which does not look necessarily likely based on the Xander's Lounge pass of turn 1, but we'll see. Also, we did draw a red land, which is very nice. I think rather than leaving up the Harvester of Misery, though, I'm just going to slam down the Harvester, grab a blood token, and go ahead and pass the turn again. This also works just as well. It also can neg2 one of his creatures if he chooses to play one. Plays a Concealing Curtains. Sure, sure. Back to me here. Draw another land. I'm starting to forget already what my Spellseeker targets are. We can kill his guy next turn with a Fatal Push. We have Daze. We have less targets than I realized. I think I probably put Spellseeker in the deck when I still thought I was going to be more Reanimator. We really don't have that many targets. We have the Unearth and the Fatal Push. Unearth is, I think, one of the main reasons I put it in. We have like a couple counter spells in the form of Miscalc, Daze, Spell Pierce. And I think that's literally it. Well, we might have to reconfigure our deck after this. Alright, so what's the plan then? If I don't kill it now, he can flip it and take something out of our hand. And that seems less than optimal. The question is, do I want to... I think how I'm going to do it is I'm going to go ahead and discard Harvester of Misery to give neg2. And then I'll go ahead and also Harvester. But I think this is as good as use of any for my Unearth. I'm going to get my Harvester right back. The other good thing about doing it this way is that I also now have 2 blood tokens. So if he plays any creature with toughness 4 or less, I can kill it immediately by sacking him once again. And he's just grabbing his Undercity Sewers, sure. His deck looks pretty similar to mine at this point. He's got, like... Yeah, there's the Gristlebrand, sure enough. That kind of stinks, actually, because now he's going to get to put Gristlebrand in play, presumably. And if I just had one more turn, I could actually steal it from him. Let's just hope. I mean, presumably he wouldn't put it in his graveyard unless he already could do it, right? Yeah, okay. He plays his own Animate Dead on Gristlebrand. The nice thing, though, is if I can kill his Gristlebrand, then I can get it with my Animate Dead. So we'll go ahead and... Nothing we can do about this. This works. So he gets to at least activate it a couple times if he chooses. Nothing we can do about that. And he's going to pass for now, though. Okay. Okay. So what's our play? Currently, we can only give -4 toughness, right? This is twice the number of blood tokens. We only have 2 bloods. Our Spellseeker, I can play a land and get a 1-drop, but the only 1-drop I could get is like Spell Pierce, I think. I guess I could also get Fatal Push, but that doesn't do anything against a big old Gristlebrand. Yeah, Fatal Push or Spell Pierce are my options. I can also Animate Dead my Harvester. Oh, but it only gives -2, so I still wouldn't kill the Gristlebrand. That would only be -6 toughness. This is quite the conundrum. Quite the conundrum indeed. Let's play the Undercity Swords first, and maybe we'll get lucky and mill our own Gristlebrand. We do not. I will go ahead and graveyard it nonetheless. So now we have to think about how we want to play this. It seems like he's going to get a hit in with Gristlebrand no matter what I do at this point. Yeah. I guess I could activate a blood token. No, you know what I'm going to do? Spellseeker doesn't do much right now. So what I'm actually going to do is finally, my pal Lutri is going to get his chance to get out of the companion zone. But for now, I think I just have to pass and just let him kind of do his thing. Like, it does stink, but not much I can do about it. So we pass turn here. This is sorcerer speed only anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and yield through his turn. And if we survive, we can maybe do some cool stuff. Clean up my deck here. Oh. Alrighty, well, it would appear as though oh, yeah, he only activated once. That's kind of a good sign. That usually means that hasn't found anything quite yet. Alright, well, he's going to 18, so he could do it again. Technically, he can do it twice more. Oh, he hymned to Turok our Lutri. And our Animate Dead! No! That's probably the last nail in the coffin for us this game. If we had the Animate Dead in hand still, there might be some stuff we can do. Oh, he also killed our main man. Yeah, I'm feeling like we're pretty dead this game. He discards Sneak Attack, Mystical, Blood Crypt to hand size. Let's go ahead and... Not that I think there's anything that will save us here, but let's go ahead and just see. And indeed we are dead. Unfortunate. Alright, on to game 2 of this match. So we're against the mirror match. He's also a Reanimator deck. What's our play? The unfortunate thing about this is that we really don't have a lot of good ways to get rid of his Gristlebrand once it's in play. Like, kind of at all, really. So, we can either try to like race him to getting Gristlebrand in play, or we could try out the Flood Pits Drowner. Let's do that. I want to try out Flood Pits Drowner. Flood Pits Drowner will be a decent way to deal with Gristlebrand, I feel like. We'll also have to remove, I don't know, we'll get rid of, I want to keep all the counter spells because it's likely that I can actually stop his like early reanimate turn with these pay 1 or pay 2s. So let's keep all those and let's ditch. Let's ditch this Fatal Push since it doesn't seem to be super useful against his deck. And we'll run it like that. We'll get to go first. Once again, Lutri, still the companion. And this hand's unfortunately, actually, I'll keep. The reason I'm keeping is because, not because my hand does anything particularly good, it's just because it's very good at stopping him from doing stuff. So, and that's kind of all I really need right now. Leading on Island Go here. And then turn 2, we can play Baleful Strix while still leaving up days if need be. Plays the Vastwood Verge. Ooh, a Deathrite Shaman. It's a little annoying because of the ability to like exile out of my graveyard, but I'm just gonna Harvester of Misery it. Yeah, nothing on end step. Go to the turn. And I think I'm just gonna do it immediately. Yeah, I'm gonna do it immediately because this way I can still hold up days. So I'm just gonna kill Deathrite. Get a chance to use it for anything, and I'll pass once again. Well, our opponent here is playing a little bit of a slower game than the last game. They're doing nothing on turn 2 here. So hopefully we draw a land here. We do not. We can dig for it with our Strix, which we will go ahead and do. Yep, that's fine. No good on the land, so we're just going to pass. Still holding up days. So much slower game from both of us, really. It's playing tap land after tap land. We are still not hitting our 3rd land drop, although I'm not going to cycle this in hopes of finding it, because I'd rather just make sure that he can't like kill me out of nowhere. I will go ahead and attack with my Baleful Strix, though. Yeah, I don't think I'm even playing Smuggler Copter here. I think... Although, you know what? He hasn't done anything for like a couple turns. If he has anything, it's likely he's tapping out for it. So days should be enough to stop him. I'm just going to hope that if he has something good, he's tapping out for it. Because last turn, if he had a good 3-drop, right, he could have just played this untapped and played it. So the likelihood of him having a good 4-drop is higher. He is thinking about something. Oh no. Did he just have the Entomb? No? No, what's going on for my opponent? Okay, there's his Steam Vents. He tapped it again. Okay. I don't know what he has. He has Cut Down for my bird. I guess that's fine. And he's just passing with that? I don't know what's going on. Alright. Let's see what happens here. Still no land. Well, I can't crew Smuggler's Copter without a creature, but I also can't really... Like, even if I do like cycle to draw land, I can't play a creature this turn anyway, so I'm just gonna pass again. There's no reason to like get antsy here for a land drop when I'm Like, it doesn't even serve me to get a land drop this turn rather than next. Liliana of the Veil. Okay, interesting. So I technically can counter this if I want to. But I don't think I even care to. I think I'm just going to let it resolve. And each player discards a card, I think is also fine. Currently, with my full hand, I do not want this Carnage anymore. He discards an island. He's going to combat and to end step. I think at this point I will go ahead and cycle this. There's a land. And then, yeah, let's move to my turn here. Draw a mountain. I'm just going to play Swamp into 3-drop creature here, I think. So we'll do... What does this grab? This doesn't grab anything relevant right away. And he has no artifacts for me to take. So yeah, I'm just going to play Preacher of the Schism. And then I'm going to immediately crew 1 with my Preacher. Opponent seems fine with that, so I'll go ahead and go to combat. Knock Lily to 1 loyalty here. And I'll go ahead and discard... Or I guess I get to draw first, huh? Yeah, I'll go ahead and... Ooh, I drew Animate Dead. That's quite good. I can Animate Dead Harvester currently, but hopefully something bigger later. Let's just ditch the Spell Seeker. I don't think that's going to be super useful in this game. Go ahead and hit. And I'll just pass there. I guess technically I could have Spell Seekered for like Unearth. That would have been decent, but I think all the rest of these cards are going to be more impactful overall. Pyroglaive to shoot something for 4. Interesting. It's like they know I have days or something. Okay. Yeah, that resolves. I assume killing this. Yeah, that's fine. And then he goes to combat. So it's a 4/5 currently. That's all good. Not activating Lily is interesting. Means he probably has a lot of stuff he really wants in his hand. Yeah, let's go to my turn here, and then I Miracled Metamorphosis Fanatic. I didn't even set that up. That's just purely luck. I'm gonna do it, and it hits yes. And how do I? Can I just hit OK? I don't understand. What do I do? OK. There we go. Okay. I've never done Miracle on MTGO. So yeah, let's go ahead and grab... It gets a lifelink counter too, whatever I get back. I can get back Harvester of Misery, or I can get back Preacher of the Schism. I think... Kind of interesting here. Harvester doesn't actually do anything on ETB because it's not going to kill the Pyroglaive. All it would be is just bigger. But I think having the value of drawing cards and making 1/1s is going to be better. So I'm going to go ahead and get back the Preacher. Miracle on MTGO is so awkward. Yeah, I'm noticing that. That was like really weird. I had to like draw it, hit yes, and then it goes on the stack and hit OK, and then I pay the mana. Very, very strange. Okay, so now I'm in my main phase. Go ahead and play a land for turn. Also, I just realized I tapped my island for the miracle cost when I didn't have to. I could have hardcast Daze if I didn't do that, which kind of stinks, but whatever. I guess that also means I shouldn't have just played that mountain because I could have. I was messing up all over the place. I gotta stop. Let's go ahead and crew with the Preacher. This doesn't do anything on attack, does it? Whenever this or another Lurgoyf enters. Okay, no. So I probably don't have to worry about that. I'm guessing that is not a relevant line of text for him. I will go ahead and draw. I draw Inti. Inti's pretty good. Let's go ahead and discard. I guess Kolaghan's Command isn't great against him, seeing as how he hasn't played any good artifacts or anything. The only mode that I would care about is getting a creature back, but it's fine. I'll just do it like this. We'll kill Liliana. It actually grows his Pyrogoyf too here. I just realized this will become a 5/6 probably. Yeah, that's okay. Let's just play the Inti, I think. Because we can't hardcast Daze, there's not really a reason to just leave up our 2 mana. So I'll just pass like this. I'm really interested to know what's in his hand though, because he didn't uptick Lily last turn. And I'm interested to see why. Okay, so he's attacking. I mean, I can double block it, right? Which I will do. The other nice thing about double blocking here is that even if he has a combat trick, I can animate dead the Fanatic and get basically both of them back. Alright, what's his trick here? Is he like killing one of them in response? Oh, what is this? 6 mana? What is he doing? Oh, is it all of his mana? Please tell me it's all of his mana. Oh, this is about to be the best. Oh, he's a Cult Epiphany for 5. Oh, you poor soul. Oh, you absolute poor soul. I feel so bad for you, except I don't. Get out of here. Be gone. And he concedes. That is that's a valid response to what just happened. I'll accept that. Alright, let's see. The change to Floodpit's Drowner from Fatal Push did not seem to make much of a difference. However, on the draw for game 3, do I want Mana Drain? I think it's fine. I think with the small amount of interaction that I do have, I think I should be fine. I hope I should be fine. We're crossing our fingers on this one, really, because there is the chance he just has the nut draw and I just lose. Alright, this hand looks pretty sick. We don't have the right colors for stuff, but we can cycle this, we can get this in play, and assuming we get one more land of any color, we can start stripping his hand away. Alright, he leaves on Deathrite Shaman once again, that's fine. Let's go ahead and play our turn 1 Concealing Curtain, presumably. We can also set up a Daze turn next turn. I still want to lead with this. I'm going to play this on turn 2. Which gives him kind of a 1-turn window where I don't have interaction up, but I'm guessing that should be fine. I'm hoping that should be fine. We'll see. The other nice thing, though, if we win, is I can Undercity Sewers and, like, Unearth if I happen to get lucky in the same turn as well. Like, that could be cool. His own Concealing Curtain. That's interesting. Oh, that's a good draw. So yeah, I'm going to play my tap land here. And hopefully I surveil a creature into the bin. I do not. It's a land. So I'm actually going to leave the land on top. Not because I actually want it, but because I don't want to give him an extra mana for his next turn. I feel like that'd be real not good. But I'm just going to pass for now. It is unfortunate, but that is genuinely the reason why I have to keep that island on top. Oh, he's a 3-drop here. Oh no, he's just revealing. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's fine. He gets to make us discard a non-land and draw a card if we do. I don't even know what he would make as discard though. Like none of this is that important by itself, I feel like. I guess if he just doesn't want to have to worry about it, he could make me discard the Daze. Not that Daze is even really good if you know about it, but there might be scenarios where like it prevents him from doing a play or something. Readjust here in my chair. feel like he's probably just like taking nothing here, because like knowing about this basically makes it obsolete. This is like I can't even cast it right now, and this I want in the graveyard. If he takes anything, it would probably be like, well, because he can't even take Preacher, because I want that in the graveyard too for my Unearth. He basically can only take Unearth if he takes anything, and that doesn't seem like that's worth it. So I imagine he's just taking nothing. Because this is a, it's like a style card. He did take the days, okay. That was also a possibility, just so that he, because it's kind of like annoying to have to never tap out, but it doesn't actually do anything once he knows about it. Right? I'm never countering his spell when he knows I have it in hand. Alright, get smacked for a bit. The question is, though, do I Revealing Eye him right back, or do I just play my Preacher? I feel like playing Preacher is where I want to be. Plus, it makes him not want to attack with his Revealing Eye, because then I can double block and kill it. This is a 2/4 Death Touch, so it blocks very well against a Revealing Eye. And yeah, we'll just pass after that. And you know the nice thing about him taking our days, we can do one of these maneuvers. Yield through this turn. Look at that. Look, Ma, no hands. Alright. He leaves up all of his mana and passes. Troubling. This actually does get red mana because we have a Badlands in our deck. What do we want to do with this turn? So currently I'm at 17 and he's at 18. So I'm going to make a 1/1 with lifelink if I attack. And then what would he leave up 4 mana for? What could he have? I'm guessing just removal, but worst case scenario is he has like a flash creature or something like, oh, this makes blue, right? Yeah, he could have like oh, what's his name? Urtai or something. Let's do Inti. Let's crack this for a Badlands. And just play Inti and see what happens. Then I'll attempt to move to combat. He's letting me attack. Okay, so I'm gonna attack with Preacher of the Schism. And you know, stack them. Doesn't matter how I stack them. I'll go ahead and allow this to resolve, discarding. I don't want to discard this because it's likely he'll be able to reanimate before I can, unless I draw exactly like Animate Dead off the exile from Inti, but I'm not gonna bank on that. Let's get rid of this basic swamp and put a counter on Preacher of the Schism. Exile the top card of our deck. It is Emperor of Bones. Nice. That's quite nice. It's actually a 2-drop I will be playing here in second main phase. Alright, so he lets all that happen, and then he's got a 3/6 Death Touch Trample coming in. Looks like he's just letting it all happen. Okay. And then, yeah, I have nothing else to do with my mana, so I'm just going to go ahead and play the Emperor of Bones here. And pass the turn. He's exiling my sword. Mana. Oh, he's tapping out. I guess this is why he took my days, huh? He's tapping out. Is this a Cult Epiphany or whatever for 5 or for 4? Yeah, so he's gonna draw 4, discard 4. That's really bad. Probably sets up his reanimate for his next turn. I mean, he takes 4 cards, so it's not like guaranteed, but it seems likely he'll be able to both find the reanimate and pitch a reanimate target. I feel like, oh, Gristleband Grave Titan. He has 2 reanimates in there. And he gets 2 spirits. How does it work? Oh yeah, so land creature gets him 2 spirits, I guess. Yeah, so not the best. Oh, he's considering? Does this mean he didn't find a reanimate? Put sneak attack into their graveyard and draws. Okay. Interesting. Nope, there's the reanimate. Okay, so he's just paying 8 for reanimates. Yep, nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. He's going to combat here. Giving back everything to block. Makes sense. Okay. And then go to my turn. A Kolagon's command, huh? Interesting. Sneak would have been pretty good. Yeah, sneak attack being milled from the surveil was interesting for sure. Death Touch Trample Grave Titan is going to be a big problem though. Yeah, the death rate is making it kind of hard because Emperor of Bones... I mean, I do force the activation, right? Like if I go to combat, Emperor of Bones just like targets Grave Titan, he kind of has no choice but to get rid of it. But then I really don't have... I don't think anything to kill him this turn. Oh, also, can I like attack with it that turn? I guess so, right? Like, because I go to combat. Yeah, you can. Okay, good. So yeah. So if he doesn't exile it with his death right in response, I could adapt, go to attackers. Inti gives it trample. It's a 7/7 death touch trample, and then he takes like guaranteed 1 damage for every creature he doesn't put in front of it, plus all my other creatures. So yeah, he would definitely be dead if my opponent lets me do that. Trying to think what I want to do here. I could also Concealing Curtains, like it's me a menace attacker that also lets me know what's in his hand in case he has any other tricks. Unearth doesn't do much. I also don't know what I'm flipping off of Inti here, so that could help. That's another factor. I think... How do I want to do this? Alright, first things first. I think with my... I'm going to have 5 mana, so I can not Concealing Curtains plus like something else. I think I'm just going to Kolagon's command and leave the curtains where it is. This way I can make him discard and shock something. Probably just a Deathrite. I guess yeah, that's true. I can also shock Deathrite. And then if he doesn't immediately notice that he has to exile his own Grave Titan, I can just kill him. Because that gives me enough mana exactly to do 2 for Adapt, 3 for Kolagons. I have the colors for that, right? Yeah, red, yeah. So I'll go and play my land. I'll tap Island, Swamp, Badlands, and just main phase this Kolagons, choosing modes of... Yep. We'll do target player discards, and target takes 2 damage, like this. I'm assuming he's gonna go ahead and exile it, but it's possible he has other plans for it. No, he's gonna go ahead and do it. Okay, that's fine. And then he also has to discard a card to the Kolagon's command here. So we'll go ahead and let that resolve. Gains 2. That dies, and then he discards... Discards Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. Interesting. Okay, so his graveyard shuffles in here. So I actually don't get any creatures under this, unfortunately. That happens, though. Nothing I can do about it. And then... Is attacking even worth it? So I can give Preacher Trample again. Death Touch Trample 4/6 it would be. He's going to gain 7 off of lifelink, though. So I really don't have an opportunity to get any damage through. I still want the Inti trigger, though. So I think I am going to go ahead and go to combat. Exile 1 card from a graveyard. I'm not going to exile anything, I guess. Let's hit done. And then we're going to go ahead and go to combat and just attack with the Preacher of the Schism. This will draw me a card, lose me a life, and also I get an Inti trigger. So I'll go ahead and attack. I want to draw the card first. So I'm going to lose life draw, go to Dark Confidant, and then I think I'm just going to immediately discard Dark Confidant. Put the counter on my attacking creature here. Exiling a mountain. And putting a counter on the Preacher. So we got a 4/6 trample Death Touch coming in. And I'll just let him go to his blocker's step, I suppose. I think he's just going to take it. Yep, he just takes it. And then second main phase here. I can unearth the Bob, but it doesn't actually accomplish much. I think I'm just dead here. He's going to attack me for 7, 8, 9 that I cannot block. I'll go ahead and unearth the Bob. It's likely that I don't hit 6. I only have like really one thing left in my deck that would actually kill me from that anyway. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to leave it up. I'm just going to leave up mana. Maybe he'll think twice. I don't know. We'll pass. He has his own Inti. Okay, sure, that resolves. He's going to combat. And swinging with Gristlebrand. And that resolves as well. Discarding a swamp, sure. Oh. Yep, he exiles Deathrite Shaman and puts a counter on Grizzly Bee. Go ahead and take the 8 to the face here. Okay. And cast Deathrite from exile. On my end step here, I think I'm just gonna cycle the Unearth, I guess. And I'm just not doing anything with this. That's how Inti works, huh? That's unfortunate. I exiled my Harvester of Misery. That would have been amazing here. Yikes. I forgot how Inti works. Oh, I can play it this turn, though. It's till my next end step? Never mind. I'm a genius. I do everything so calculated. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and play my Harvester of Misery here from exile. This will wipe most of his board and also most of my stuff, too, unfortunately. But then I at least get to attack in with my Preacher and get a off of... Oh, wait, no, I don't get a trigger because I'm... might have messed this up. In any case, I think I was dead no matter what I did this game, or this turn, but what can you do? I'll go ahead and attack. Why not? Lifelink. That'll learn you. Take 2. And I'll pass. Hard to beat Gristlebrand? Indeed it is. We are, in fact, not beating Gristlebrand today, as it is killing us. Alright, that is it for that round. So we lost that 2-1, or 1-2. All of our games, or all of our matches have been going to 3 games, too. That's good. I like it when, or I guess technically the first one we didn't even really get to finish the 3rd game because our opponent disconnected, but on to match 3. Maybe we can pull out a 2-1 here. We can salvage this. I feel like our deck is not... Gotta run? Oh yeah, take care, man. Good luck with the rest of the league. Thank you. I will, I'll do my best. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I had mentioned wanting to get the Spellseeker out of there, which I think I will do. I don't know. Just like Unearth is the best thing I can get with it. I don't think that's worth. Let's get Spellseeker out of there and like Flood Pits in there or something. All right, let's run it like that. That looks better. We get to be on the play for game 1. Very nice. We get to have Lutri as our trusty companion once more. And we are presented with a decent hand. We have a little bit of interaction. We got both of our like hard reanimates as well. Not even really, this one's not even really like a hard reanimate. It's more like a shallow grave, but even still. I'm gonna keep. We do have a 1-drop, but I think I'm just gonna lead on my tap land here. Opponent is also starting with 7 cards. Days is, I think I'm gonna hit the bin. Actually, you know what? My opponent doesn't know about the days yet, which I think is gonna be a reason why it's decent this game. So, especially if we go like turn 2 Emperor of Bones, and then his turn 2 play gets dazed, I think we're in good shape. So I'm just gonna go this into Emperor of Bones. And I'll pass from there. If he just like immediately like shocks my Emperor of Bones, I'll let that happen, I think. I don't think that it really behooves me to bounce one of my own lands to stop him from killing my thing. Well, he didn't do it on my end step. Okay. He's just passing again, sure. See where we're at. We draw a land. How do I want to do this? I think I'm going to play my Concealing Curtain. Well, first I'll go to combat and hit him for 2. With no targets for Emperor again. And let's go ahead and attack for 2 damage here. And then second main phase, I'll just play the Concealing Curtain pass. This way I hold up both my Drowner and I can hard cast Daze rather than having to bounce an island. He's playing Narset, so I cannot Floodpits Drowner that, so I'm just going to hard cast Daze on it. And make him pay 1 more. Okay. So that went through. He's passing back to me here. Draw another island. Okay. I can't hold up Floodpits Drowner, but I think I just want to Concealing Curtains this turn. I'm going to go ahead and play my land and just tap 3 and then flip this over. We are looking at 6 cards here. He's got 2 free-ish spells. He's got Malevolent Rumble. Right. Get a permanent from top 4 and make it a Scion. Manadoric, Enduring Curiosity, and Lose Focus. Interesting. Are there any of these that I care about? I think Enduring Curiosity is going to be the best because it's the one that I actually would want under Emperor of Bones. So I'm going to take it. Not because I don't want him to have it, but because like I kind of want to have it myself. And then we'll go to combat here. I should leave this open too so I remember. Oh, he just conceded. Okay. Oh, what? Oh, he just like rage quit the whole match. Unfortunate. Okay, that's unfortunate. We had 2 matches that ended in... I think the first one was legitimately just like he DC'd or something. That one seemed pretty blatantly like he was just frustrated that his play got hard dazed. Well, we got the 2-1. And we didn't have our own Gristlebrand in play a single time in any of our matches. But that's okay. Sometimes your Reanimator deck does the thing, sometimes it doesn't. Since we have a little bit of extra time before I usually wrap things up, I'm going to go ahead and do another draft here. I probably... Oh, what the heck? Yeah, there we go. I probably will not play any of the matches for this new deck that I'm about to draft, but I can at least do the drafting part and talk through my decision making, and it'll be fun. And that should take us basically to the end of my time for streaming today. Very nice, very nice. Okay, so we've done mono red. That was like kind of a pseudo, that wasn't even really a reanimator deck, but it was like a pseudo reanimator. I really want to have like a really cool combo deck. Pardon my yawn. Speaking of really cool combo deck, there's a demonic tutor in my pack. Now, pack one, pick one. I think as far as individually powerful cards, Solitude is very high up there. But if I'm specifically looking to do some combo-y shenanigans, I mean, then Demonic Tutor. There's no other thing you can take here, right? Echo Vaons is also a very good combo card, but I can wheel that much more easily than I can wheel a Demonic Tutor. So let's go ahead and take this and see where we go from here. There's a Lion's Eye Diamond, one of the cards that actually goes well with Echo Vaons. Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna go ahead and take it. I want to send a signal early that I'm taking a lot of the combo pieces. That way other people don't, see Echo Vaons and Lion's Eye Diamonds going around and try to take them. So I'm just going to take it myself. Okay. Nothing here that screams combo card to me. I think... I really don't know. As far as being in a combo deck, there aren't many of the cards in this pack that I would really desire. If I'm an all spells combo deck, technically Oath of Druids can be funny. What does this do again? Phases out a creature. You know what? I'm gonna take the Oath of Druids. No one ever makes this card work. I'm gonna make it work. Speaking of things that make Oath of Druids work, hello, Mr. Gristlebrand. There's also a black dual land here. There's also a black-green dual land too, if I actually end up wanting to play the Oath of Druids. You know what? Let's do it. I'm gonna do it. Gristlebrand Oath of Druids. This is the plan. I've decided. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this means that we're probably not gonna want to take any creatures, just all spells. That being said, slim pickings in this pack as far as spells. Yeah. Normally here I would take something like Malcolm to like set up a reanimate, but if I want to actually play Oath of Druids, and I really do want to play Oath of Druids, I really can't afford to have this random 2-drop in my deck. I hate these lands in this, but I'm just gonna take it. This sucks. I'm taking Waterlogged Grove, 5th pick. That feels bad. That does not feel great, but I have a good feeling. I have a good feeling that we're gonna cook with this Oath of Druids plan. All right, so what are we working with for this pack? We have the best card in the pack is nowhere near where I want to be, in the form of Screaming Nemesis. Felt like Dark Depths could have been a choice. That's true. I never really think about Dark Depths when I'm... That honestly would have been better, I feel like. Dark Depths, at least you can get a Thespian stage and do stuff with, whereas this, I feel like I don't even want to put in my deck. I don't know. Turnabout can be kind of cool. What is this? I don't think I've even played with this one. Surveil 2, draw a card for each opponent who lost life. No, I'm just taking Turnabout. Give me this. I'm gonna feel real silly when Thespian Stage comes around this pack and then Dark Depths is gone. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I feel like the stage depths combo isn't one that people are generally on the lookout for, so it's something you can snag. I find pretty easily. Uh, I mean, speaking of that, you can even take like things to make it even easier to assemble with like expedition map and stuff. But for me, this pack is pretty mediocre. I can either take expedition map to try to set up a depths combo, which I don't currently have, or slightly better brainstorm for 2 more mana. It's not better in a better card, but better in the effect is slightly better in that you draw 1 additional card than brainstorm does. What do we have here? One of the better creatures for a deck like this in the form of Snapcaster Mage, but again, Oath of Druid says no. We're probably gonna be, looks like at least Sultai, so this is probably not the look. As far as a Triome, I'm just gonna take the Misty. Sunken Ruins can also be decent with the setup I have, but I think Misty's gonna be better overall, especially if we find dual lands to work with. All right, back to our opening pack here. We're given an Exploration and a green-black duel, which does make Misty turn into a tri-land, right? It's already green-blue, and this lets it also get black. Is that better than Exploration, though? Exploration is pretty decent, especially if we're doing like Turnabout and untapping our lands. Ugh, I like getting my mana fixing down early, but I think Expedition is going to Exploration is going to be decent for sure. Here, we can take another big thing for Oath, but I probably don't, like, if I have Gristlebrand, I probably don't need another big thing. Although, what else am I taking from this pack, so... Lethal Scheme, I guess. Convoke doesn't matter because I'm playing no creatures. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'll take the Blade Steel. If it makes the deck, it makes the deck. Another big creature that I probably don't want. And random nonsense. What does this do? It's a disenchant that can exile. It cycles at least. Okay, that's actually not bad. If it was just a disenchant, I'd say not great. But because it also cycles, if I want it to, that's playable enough. I guess I'll take the colorless card. Hey, Dark Depths is back. I'll take it this time. I don't know if I'm just gonna make the cut currently, but that's definitely better than anything else that was in that pack. Oops. And sideboard there. Well. Our start is kind of awkward because we didn't end up wheeling the Echo of Aeons, meaning that there's probably someone else on the lookout for stuff of that variety of card. All right, pack 2. We open a Mox. Wheeling the Dark Depths is crazy. I'm telling you, man, people don't respect the Dark Depths combo. They don't look for it. It'll probably make the final cut of my deck as well at this point because I don't have the opportunity to put creatures in my deck because of my my Oath of Druid. So I'm probably going to be hard pressed to find ways to kill my opponent, I would assume. We get a Mox in the pack 2, which is very nice. The unfortunate thing is because Echo Aeons didn't wheel, I'm going to have to assume that this High Tide is not wheeling, but there's also a Candelabra. Like, someone's going to take this nonsense, but we're still taking Mox Emerald. Very sad, very sad. What do we have here? Again, a creature that I normally would want in a deck like this, but not really. Actually, you know what? If I end up finding a combo to make this win me the game instantly, if I get a Spellseeker in play, then it actually is fine to have in an Oath of Druids deck. I currently don't have that, but that is something to keep in mind, that I can put like small ball creatures in my deck if they like enable me to win the game by themselves. Here, though, I'm probably just taking... I could take some cheap interaction in the form of Cut Down, or if I wanted to lean into more like big mana-y stuff, I can take the Coveted Jewel. Lotus Petal is also an option. Lotus Petal also definitely helps me ramp into... Like, it gets me Oath of Druids on turn 1 more often. Plus, I feel like Coveted Jewel is not a card that a ton of people are on the lookout for. I think I'm just going to take the Petal, and if I wheel one of those other two, I'm pretty happy with either. Alrighty, here Through the Breach. If we end up splashing red, we can Through the Breach Crystal Brand, and that's basically just as good. There's a Treachery, which is just like a decent card, especially when we're going to be very creature light due to our restriction. Taking our opponent's creatures is a way to get around that. Blue, green, red is also a really good Triumph, especially if we end up wanting to play red cards. So I'm going to look out for Ketria Triumph, Treachery. Excuse me. Breeding Pool could also be interesting, but not as good as Ketria when we already have a blue-green land. Like, this doesn't make Misty make any different colors. It still just gets blue-green. I think Treachery is pretty okay, but I think I'm just going to take the Ketria. Triumph. Ooh, okay. So, there's a Displacer Kitten here. And I know with the Oath of Druids it's not great, but we did see a Coveted Jewel like 2 packs ago, and if for some reason no one is looking out for the Coveted Jewel, we could end up with a really sick combo. There's also just Imperial Seal, which is just like a straight up tutor, but we already have Demonic Tutor, and top deck tutors are not nearly as good as put into hand tutors anyway. I mean, nothing else in this pack is even remotely playable for me. Maybe Malevolent Rumble. Yeah, I was taking Displacer Kitten. Let's go. Displacer Kitten. All right. What do we have here? We have a Bitter Triumph as a removal spell. It also sets up, if we end up getting any reanimate stuff, we can set up like discard as an additional cost and then reanimate. There's also Fire Ice, I guess, is a fine card. These are both just generically fine interaction pieces. This one is like kind of a twofer though, because it also discards if we need to discard something. Another decently good removal piece. Nothing else that looks... I mean, Sink into Stupor also is completely reasonable, but I'd rather take something a little bit more impactful than just like turning one of my land slots into a spell slot. And I think Bitter Triumph is gonna be where I'm at. I feel like Fire Ice might wheel anyway, so... There's a Brain Freeze. We already have Lion's Eye Diamond and Lotus Petal. Plus Brain Freeze means we are like one Underworld Breach away from just like going off. And again, that's a combo that does not require me to put any creatures into my deck. So we can still keep the Oath of Druids. The Oath of Druids dream is alive and well. I'm going to take the Brain Freeze here. We might wheel some random nonsense. It doesn't matter. We're taking Brain Freeze. Here we have Yavimaya to fix green if we need to. Stern Scolding and Consider. The rest does not look enticing. Urza's Bauble, I guess, technically also can be decent if I end up doing some sort of like weird loop with Underworld Breach, but I like, can't quite put it together or something. But I think Stern Scolding, we currently don't have that much interaction. We basically have Bitter Triumph and like a Naturalize. So I think even though Consider would be really good at filtering through our draws and getting us deeper to our deck, I think Stern Scolding is going to end up being something that we just like need more. I say right as I get past a Fatal Push, but hey, taking that Stern Scolding makes me not need Fatal Push as bad, which makes me also want to take this Shell Dock anyway. Shell Dock Isle, really solid card in a 40 card format, especially one where we're going to be drawing a lot, and even Oath of Druids even mills us some cards. Like, how can you say no to Shell Dock Isle? Am I right? Basalt could also be something to look out for, but Shell Dock is going to be where I want to be. Also, High Tide did wheel. That's kind of crazy. I was almost certain that was not going to happen since the Echo of Aeons got taken, but I'll take the High Tide. We're missing out on a Daze here, but honestly, I'm not too unhappy. Daze would be really good. I knew it. I knew no one was going to take the Coveted Jewel. Okay, so we now have Displacer Kit and Coveted Jewel. Spellseeker would also be insanely good. It gets Brain Freeze. It gets High Tide. It gets Demonic. Actually, wait. Oh, that actually sucks. That's so good. That's like, this is like a insanely good Spellseeker deck. But how can I pass up on Coveted Jewel Displacer Kitten? I mean, Yeah, we're taking the coveted jewel. Come on. How can you say no to that? We're going to go ahead and grab, I guess, just this dual land. This does nothing. This, yeah, none of these do anything. I'll take the blue-black fast land here. That's a creature. Green-black fast land. I could also take Faithless Looting. Currently, I have only like 2 red fixing. Catch Red Triumph plus a fetch land, so I'm just going to take the fast land. Okay, Fire Ice did wheel. So did Terra Sunder, actually. Fire Ice is probably better card overall, but it's harder to cast for us. So I'm just going to take the Terra Sunder, I think. Although it is 4 mana to kill a non... Maybe I should have just taken the Fire Ice. Whatever. Let's Karzev to the sideboard. Wow, okay. Kolaghan's Ram is the only other card in that pack, by the way, that I was even considering, and it wheeled all the way to last pick. That's kind of crazy. That actually might make the cut if we end up getting more red fixing. Okay. Pack 3. Pack 3. This is interesting. So, it's not a Underworld Breach, but we do have a Yawgmoth's Will available to us. It's fine. It's a one-time thing where you just get to reuse your graveyard once and then all exiles that turn. Meaning it's not like I can't like loop Lion's Eye Brain Freeze like I can with Underworld Breach, but I can still like probably cast enough spells to mill my opponent out or whatever I need to do. So probably still good enough for the deck. There's also 3 fetch lands. White, black. What are my duels currently? My only fetchable duel is the Triumph, actually. So white-black is the only one that doesn't get it. So Windswept Heath or Verdant. Actually, that's white. So yeah, Verdant Catacombs would be the other consideration. I'm just going to take the Yogg's Will. Like, it'll probably wheel if I don't take it, but I'd rather just lock in the fact that I have an effect like this in my deck. It's going to be very, very good for my deck. Okay, here we have another interesting decision because there is a Zagoth Triome, which is all 3 of our main colors here. We also have a Sneak Attack, which is a way to use this red mana we're trying to set up in order to get Gristlebrand into play. Or Displacer Kitten, I guess, but really we just care about Gristlebrand. But we really only be playing it for that one card. So we have to basically, well, we do have Demonic Tutor and ways to set it up, but yeah, we could do that. There's also... Oh, no, never mind. I was about to say Grief, but that's a creature, and I don't want creatures for Oath of Druids. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take the Zagoth Triome. Portal to Phyrexia is another consideration, just because my deck can probably make a decent amount of mana, and I could, like, literally just hardcast it. But at that point, I don't know. I can probably win the game in a more efficient way than hardcasting a Portal to Phyrexia. Alright, so here... we get a lot of good options. We have a Jace the Mind Sculptor, which is a decent amount of board presence without having a creature in our deck for Oath. We get an Ancient Tomb, which is a really good way to ramp into our Displacer Kitten, our Coveted Jewel, even, you know, some of our other combo-y stuff is going to be really good. Also, I don't know why the Smuggler's Copter is in my deck when I have no creatures. But yeah, so Ancient Tomb is going to be really good. Jace is going to be really good. Infernal Grasp would also be really good. It's just an unconditional creature destruction spell. Strip Mine. My goodness. Strip Mine's also decent. It's if we're going to be ahead on resources a lot of the time, it's good to trade 1-for-1 resources with our opponent like that. I really want to take the Ancient Tomb, but I feel like Jace is going to be kind of necessary. Otherwise, we're just going to die to like a bunch of creature decks. Just gonna take the Jace. That kind of hurts because I really would have preferred Ancient Tomb, I feel like. Also, we picked a lot of lands anyway, so just picking another playable is also just probably for the best. The Fairy Time Raveler would be a good card for our deck, but we don't currently have any ways to make white mana, so I'll hold off. Corpse Dance is a way to capitalize on having Gristlebrand in the graveyard. Fire Covenant is a removal spell. Although at this point in the draft, we're probably trying to avoid red if we can. Seeing as we have 0 red cards currently that we're going to play. Possibly Kolaghan's Command, but that's not even a definite yet. So that's probably another question. It's probably like Spell Pierce or Corpse Dance. I'm thinking Spell Pierce, although we do already have a Stern Scolding. Corpse Dance is like again, it's kind of the same thing with Sneak Attack. It only works with this one card, so even though we can set it up, I'm just going to take the Spell Pierce, which is a just really generically always going to be useful kind of card. Okay. So we have this like instant speed board wipe that we can foretell to make like a big board wipe. But just by itself, it like sweeps the little creatures. Unfortunately, I just realized it's double red. I thought it was 2 in a red, but it's double red, so probably not castable for us. Trinket Mage gets Lion's Eye, Lotus Petal, Mox, which is probably good enough. Unfortunately, it's a creature, but man, this whole having no creatures in my deck is actually a little annoying. I keep seeing cards I would like. There's also Wasteland since we passed on Strip Mine. There's also a removal spell. I've taken too many lands. I just gotta take this Shieldred's Edict, I feel like. There's also Beseiju that I just noticed. That would also be a fine card. So here we have the Thespian stage presented to us, which we do have the Dark Depths in our deck. It's a bit of a slow combo. However, because we're going to be so light on creatures, I feel like just having a way to basically inevitably hit them for 20, like it's pretty hard to stop, right? Most opponents are not going to have a way to blow up my lands, and even fewer are going to have a way to like deal with me instant speed, putting in a 20/20 indestructible. Rain of Filth would also be a good combo card, but I'm just going to take the stage, and if Rain of Filth wheels, then I'll take it then. But for now, we're going to take the stage. Here we have Shallow Grave for Gristlebrand. We got City of Traders as like a knockoff Ancient Tomb. And everything else is a creature. Actually, Jace is not a creature, but this Jace is much worse for us than this Jace. I guess technically if I brain freeze myself to death, this Jace could actually be useful. You know what? That actually is probably better than Shallow Grave for my one creature. Even though it's really good to Shallow Grave Gristlebrand, I think you know what? No, I'm just getting the Shallow Grave. Change my mind last minute. There's a Doomsday. That goes well with Jace. That goes really well. This is probably the best card to go with Jace Wielder of Mysteries. Hang on, how many cards? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If Jace Wielder of Mysteries is the very last card in that pack, I could still technically wheel it, which is not going to happen, I don't feel like, but it's possible. Alternatively to Doomsday, there is Relic of Sauron, which makes mana, and Brainstorm. Brainstorm might actually be good because if I draw the Gristlebrand, I don't want it in my hand for Oath of Druids. I feel like banking on getting back the Jace is not worth it, so I'm just going to take the Brainstorm. Okay, so we took the Brainstorm. We have both Brainstorms, by the way. We have Brain Surge and Brainstorm. Kind of crazy. We have Paradoxical Outcome for, we only have like one like Mox. We have a couple, like a Petal, like I'm about to Petal, but it doesn't generate mana, and then nothing else permanent wise. There's also Saheeli to make a bunch of blockers. This is probably good enough, just like making blockers when we don't have any creatures in play. Yeah, let's take that. What's our current playable count up to? Like at 24. We're basically at like playables right now. Removal spell, sure. And then, oh, the Ancient Tomb wield? What? How does no one in this entire draft want an Ancient Tomb? I mean, Bolas of Citadel, we don't have a way to cheat into play. We could hardcast Citadel, but like, there's no way I'm supposed to take Citadel over Ancient Tomb when I have a coveted jewel. Yeah, okay. Okay, guys, what are we doing here? What are we doing with that? We took Shallow Grave, but we also are presented with Corpse Dance, and the other ones are nonsense, so I guess we'll just have both. And then we also have Seiju versus Field of the Dead, but I'm not going to be trying to get to 7 lands, really, so let's just take the Seiju. Rain of Filth did indeed wheel, which is going to be better than Nature's Lore, I think, because the turn we're comboing off, we just want like a burst of mana. This is good if we're like more of a mid-range deck, I feel like, and then that can sideboard. Alright, so we have 26 non-lands in our deck, right? Yeah, minus 11 from 37. So we have 26 non-lands in our deck, plus a Mox is one of those 26. So really 25 non-lands, and normally I like 23-ish. So like 2-ish, 1 to 2 cuts would be acceptable here. What did we end up with? We ended up with Shallow Grave and Corpse Dance, so I'm going to cut one of those. The buyback doesn't matter because I only have one creature to do it to, so Corpse Dance is the worst of the two. It's an extra mana. Besides that, there wasn't anything that really stood out as wanting to cut. It sucks we never found the Underworld Breach, but we at least got the Yogg's Will. I'm glad we picked that up in pack. If I first picked it or something in like pack 1, like 2 or 3. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, it's fine too. These are all fine. But I should cut one more card probably, right? I only have 4 slots for basics, which leaves me with 15 actual lands plus a Mox. Is that enough? Maybe that is enough. I feel like playing it safe though, especially because I have an exploration in my deck. Like an arena filth. Like I want to have lands in play on the turn I'm going off. Turnabout even. Yeah, we should cut one more card. Let's cut some random removal spell. We already have Spell Pierce, Stern Scolding for counters, but we also have Terra Sunder, Heritage Reclamation, Shieldred's Edict, and Bitter Triumph, all of which are just 2 mana removal spells. Yeah, I feel like we're going to be ditching the Terra Sunder here. Exile target artifact or enchantment, or non-land permanent if I pay 4 mana for it. Let's nug that. We already have another naturalized with upside. This is just also a naturalized with upside, but the upside is I can pay 2 more mana to hit like a creature or something. I think drawing a card is going to be better. Also, this stops Reanimator decks. Like, yeah, this is going to be better than Terra Sunder for sure. Okay. And then we add 5 basics and we're done. Very nice. Let's see here. We are looking at no red sources. Thank you very much. Saheeli confusing the mid-go basic counter. Oh, do I need Ketria Triumph? I guess I only have... That's like my only other than Zagoth, fetchable green-blue duel, right? I have no other... Because I passed on the breeding pool. Which it's kind of funny. In the pack I took Ketria Triumph, there was also a breeding pool, and I took it over breeding pool because I was like, oh, this will be better, so I can splash red. And then I ended up not really playing any red. And if this had been a breeding pool, it'd be way better because then I actually would have a fetchable duel that's untapped rather than just Zagoth Triumph, which is always tapped. Blue, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue lands currently. 7, 8 is not nearly enough. Okay, so let's do some cutting of the lands here. Okay. The question is, do I want to play Stage Depths when I have a High Tide in my deck? When I need as many islands as possible for this High Tide turnabout to work? There are also colorless lands when I'm in a 3-color deck. And I have no ways to like cheat them into play, like no crop rotation, no Elvish Reclaimer. I just have like a Demonic Tutor. You know what? I'm just gonna ditch them. I'm ditching the... I have both Stage and Depths, and they're not making the deck. I mean, it's just not worth it, right? There's no way it's worth it to ruin my mana base for this, the off chance that I draw both of these and get a 20/20. That makes it a little easier. Ancient Tomb I still think can make the cut, though. Although, it's really only good with my really big stuff, right? It's good with Jace, Coveted Jewel. Basically, 4 and above, it's insane. I guess it can cast Brain Surge and Yogg's Will pretty easily as well. But it's not really that good unless I'm in a combo turn, because I have to use it on 2 different spells most of the time. Blooming Marsh is black-green. Boseiju is probably fine. That's another naturalize, actually. I just realized I had 3 naturalizes in my deck. So yeah, Boseiju is definitely don't need Terra Sunder. Dark Slick, Ketria, Water. I might even cut Waterlogged Grove. Like, yes, it's dual land, but it's not type island, and it pings me every time I use it. How many? I get 7 basics here. So what are we looking at for this? Still no mountains. Thank you very much, Moto. So for green, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This would make 8 green sources. When I have 1, 2, 3 needs for green, and they're all early drops, but I'm gonna drop to 0 forests, I think, so I get 5 islands in there. And then what about swamps? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ugh, it's kind of a little bit lower than I wanted it to be. Okay, maybe we do just keep it at 4 islands, but we go up to 3 swamps or something. This seems doable. So how many island? What's my island count at that point? 1, 2, 3, 7 islands. Oh my goodness. This is like the lowest island count for a high tide deck I think I've ever had. You know what? Screw it. We go up to 5 islands, 2 swamps, so we run out of black when so be it. We got screwed that game, whatever. 5 islands, 2 swamps. Send it. That is 16 lands plus a mox. Perfect. Okay. I could even, if I really was feeling ambitious, cut another swamp for a 6th island, but I think 5-2 split is fine. Okay. Well, this deck is this is certainly something. We started like with a pick like 2 or 3 Oath of Druids and just went all in on this Crystal Brand thing. So I'm excited to see how it turns out. I'm going to call things there for today. As I said, I'm going to have to not play the matches until next time because I am out of time. Actually, overtime for my stream today. Normally I end around 9, but we're gonna go ahead and save this deck for tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, we can do these matches. Or it's actually Mother's Day tomorrow. I might not stream tomorrow. I'll have to see. If I don't, then it'll be next week. But in any case, thanks to everyone who watched the stream for checking it out. Thank you for, we got a couple new follows today as well. Close to hitting 40, I believe. Yep, we're at 38. So, yeah. Take care, everyone. Thank you for watching once again, and I will see you all next time.